Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Group Chat. It's time to wrap up another week. This is our last week before we have a peaceful or maybe not so peaceful transfer of power.
Yes, we're going to find out soon.
Next week we're going to have our election. So we're going to talk about all things leading up to a U.S. election. It's getting kind of spooky out there.
Spooky is correct on the eve of Halloween.
Things are getting a little crazy, and we're going to talk about everything leading up to it. We also are going to talk about Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm. City of Champions.
City of Champions. I don't really know what else to say. Number one podcast in the world is recorded here.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. The Los Angeles Lakers here.
Number one basketball team in the world.
And now, for the first time in 32 years, the LA Dodgers bringing home the trophy, and it's covered with a little bit of iris.
Yes.
Bring it home.
Bring it on home, but wash it down first. That and a million other things to talk about. We got a marathon of an episode today. So to everyone who voted that our episode should be shorter, I'm sorry.
We're hitting 2 hours today.
We're hitting 2 hours today.
To Paul Ripke.
Paul
Ripke's not listening to this one.
Someone put in the chat, Ripke's going to be livid when he sees that timestamp.
yeah. Ripke is not happy. And as a reminder, on every Friday, we do the second half of our episodes on Twitch. So Group Chat Pod on Twitch.
Poppin'.
Chat was popping today.
Yes.
Okay, let's get into it, guys.
Cash.
Ladies and gentlemen, Group Chat.
Cash.
It's $1 trillion. Hot.
Guys, I'm scared.
Which part?
Exactly.
Show me things to be fearful of.
That's why I'm fearful.
It's a scary week.
It's a scary fucking week. I went downstairs. I live in a building. Went downstairs today to head out, and they're fucking boarding up all the windows and doors.
Oh, for the big event. Yeah.
I mean, as you drive around, you see a little bit more of preparations happening.
Rodeo Drive will be closed on Election Day.
It will be. I just drove that way. I just came from the Rodeo side down Wilshire. And you can see the boarding up happening and the preparations happening. People are taking stuff out of the store windows. Mm-hmm. This is fucking crazy. I just feel like the amount of pent up Rona stuff and heading into this freaking election. I mean, this shit feels crazy.
It's crazy. So I went and voted in person yesterday.
Yeah.
In Westwood, California.
Yeah.
And Westwood is for those that don't live in LA, it's between Beverly Hills and Santa Monica.
It's where UCLA is.
It's where UCLA is.
By the 405.
Yep.
And I'm sitting there. A friend of ours, Daniel, is working the polls there. He's a volunteer.
Good for him.
Good man.
Shout out to Daniel Vogel.
Yeah.
Volunteering.
Can I go any day between now and Tuesday?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go see
And
Daniel.
so he was he posted, if you're going to come vote in person, this is what the experience, go to lavote.net, go do this, and just be prepared.
Yeah.
So I was great. Helpful information.
Yeah.
So I went there because I asked him, is it busy? He's like, no, it's not that busy. Come by. And there's on the website, it shows the wait times.
Yeah.
And all of them are 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Hollywood Bowl, there's one, Staples Center, whatever. So I was whatever. I was going to go see Anand in Westwood. So I was I'll go to Westwood. The entire experience, because I had my shit all filled out on my phone already.
Yeah.
You walk in, they give you hand sanitizer. They offer you gloves if you like them. I go, no, I just want the hand sanitizer. I scan in, get my ballot. I pull it in. Then they go, have you already filled it out on your phone? If you have, I'd already done it. They scan your phone. And then they go, are these answers all right? I go, yes. Joseph Biden, Kamala Harris. I put it in then you just feed it into the machine. Goes, do you need a sticker? I'm actually, I got the sticker from when I was originally going to do an absentee ballot, and then I voided that. So they voided my absentee ballot on the spot. And then they gave me a new ballot, and then I voted. That's it.
So it was easy.
So it's literally 2 minutes.
Okay.
I took 2 minutes to take a picture.
I think I'm going to go tomorrow.
It was so easy. I
just want to get it out of the way. I feel like next week is going to be
I
nuts.
think as you get closer, people are going to get, there'll be a little bit more action. But I also think there's so many people that mailed in their ballots because of Corona that I think people were just like, whatever.
Yeah.
So to the boarded up discussion,
Yeah.
this feels like we are a third world country.
It does.
Yeah.
So elections typically in third world countries
Cause war.
are associated with violence.
Yeah.
And if you've watched any inauguration since I've been old enough to actually understand what inauguration is,
Yeah.
whether it's Brian Williams, Dan Rather, Tom Brokaw, whoever's commentating it, they always point out
Peaceful.
the peaceful transfer of power is a storied American tradition, and we should be grateful that this exists in this country because plenty of the world doesn't have this. And it's always brought up without fail. It was brought up when Obama passed it off to Trump because it's like warring factions, parties. We have elections. They're very bitter. They're very divisive. But at the end of the day, the American democracy holds, and we have a peaceful transfer of power. And it does not seem like anything is peaceful.
Board up your stores. Board up
No.
your stores. Get your gun ready.
Oh my
and
God.
bear down.
I'm going to the store. I'm loading up on the essentials, which I didn't really do.
For Corona.
Yep. Getting the gun ready.
Yeah.
Polishing it off just in case.
We should take some practice rounds.
I might head down. Yeah.
Pick some people off your balcony.
Just stuff your balcony and see what you got.
Yes. It just feels like you could legitimately, it could just be a little crazy out in the streets.
So think about this, right? You're talking Rodeo Drive is boarded up.
Yep.
And Hollywood.
Yep.
We're in let's be very clear.
Yes.
This is a very liberal part of the country.
Yep.
There aren't it would be shocking if someone had a Trump Pence sign in West Hollywood or Beverly Hills. Or
I saw
Hollywood.
one yesterday.
No,
a truck.
But it's noticeable.
Yeah.
Imagine in those communities where it's 50% Biden-Harris, 50% Trump-Pence.
This is going to be neighbors like fist fighting each other.
Yeah, what's going on there? If we're boarding up a liberal part of town where everyone's pretty much on the same side, what's going on in the real heartland of America where people are actually divided?
But also, I think you're right 1,000,000%. I'm not saying this is worse, but I do think that the preparation here is for a Trump win.
Yeah, it's not
what could happen here in a Trump win is scary.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, whereas Minnesota might be worse. I don't know, and I don't think you're wrong. But I think that almost it could be when it's more medium and more spread out. It's like everyone's a little upset, whatever. Here, I'm worried a Trump win could be like George Floyd rioting and looting, LA riots like times 10.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good point.
So I think it's in the extreme cities. Same way. I think in big Trumpy areas, you gotta, if you're left in Boston, you should probably bunker down.
Yeah.
You know, you should probably know where you're at.
I think, I mean,
the funny thing is, I remember when Trump won in 2016, a lot of people who got emotional woke up and cried, wrote long Instagram posts.
Yeah.
Now I think if Trump loses, it's grab your gun and stand a post.
For real, bro.
Instagram.
I remember,
pistol.
this is embarrassing now, but I remember the night, whatever it was, 1 a.m. In November of 16, I went outside and just sat for 20 minutes. What does this even mean?
Yeah.
Right.
And I feel like, it's that times 50, man.
Yeah.
And both sides, let's be clear. If Biden wins, the Trump folks are grabbing their guns. If Trump wins, the streets are going to be a mess.
Yeah, the other group will grab their guns.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I literally feel, not to be crazy about it, I feel like if Trump wins, it's LA riots on steroids.
Yeah, the liberal cities will actually be in trouble.
Burn. And then I feel like if Biden wins, it's fucking Rittenhouses just everywhere.
Yeah.
Just in every right-leaning.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's just...
what happens in Newport and Huntington where the Trump support has been so strong?
Yeah.
And if Trump loses, because Newport's a rich community. Do the boats still have the flags the week after? Their flags are half-mast?
I bet they do. Imagine a Trump flag at half-mast. Oh, my God. I think that in Newport and shit like that, it's so rich that those people aren't starting real trouble. I don't think you're going to see stores on fire in Newport.
No, what you're just going to see is, the restaurant go back to your country.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Newport's
they'll
big
double
on
down
go back
on
to
that.
your country.
A lot of
Go back to Wuhan.
Yeah.
a lot of racism, a lot of whatever. But I don't know, man. It feels crazy, and it feels crazy. Even though we've been prepping for the crazy for I'd say 6 months now. Walking down and seeing them really starting to fortify a nice building in Hollywood on fucking Thursday is like shit. Here we go. So I don't know, man. We're planning to do a live stream. Also, Joe Rogan is doing a live stream, which apparently Alex Jones is going to be at. A lot of people are going to be at.
No way.
Yes. So we're going to be competing. So I think we're fine. We got this. The point is, I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I'm going to play it by ear. I'm going to see how it looks.
Yeah. Maybe it's streaming from our homes.
Tuesday night, man. We might be on Zoom.
We could all get on StreamYard.
Yeah, that's true.
We'll see though. I mean, it might be totally fine, but that drive home Tuesday night might be sketch.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, crazy news.
Yeah.
You want to add to that?
Yeah.
Fucking LA is just a city of champions.
Title town.
So you wouldn't be able to tell it. We're boarding up. We're fucking locking down. Everyone feels a little crazy, but we are a city of fucking champions. So first the Lakers, now the Dodgers. This is the first time in what, 30 years?
32 years.
32 years. I know especially, look, I feel it. I've been here for 14 years. I'm a LA, I'm here.
Yeah.
But our true LA born and raised group, we know also a lot of our employees have been going, they made it to the World Series like the last couple
3 of the 4.
Yeah.
3 of the 4. So they've been going every year.
Yeah.
I've seen the passion and they locked it up.
And the good thing about, everyone was, the celebration for the Dodgers' victory was larger in LA than, or at least it felt bigger than the Lakers.
Yeah.
Obviously, the 32-year pent-up demand for a World Series title.
That'll do it.
The cheating of the Astros. And, baseball is one of those sports where fine people from both sides enjoy it still.
Yep.
Whereas basketball is a liberal sport.
Yep.
And
I would say, you're right.
I
It
also
is everyone.
tweeted this, I think yesterday, that baseball, especially in LA, if you grew up here, going to a Dodgers game was an experience whether you grew up liking baseball or you didn't play baseball. It didn't matter.
Because it was affordable.
It was affordable. It was a family event.
Yeah.
And I would suspect everyone I know that I grew up with at least went to a Dodger game a year.
Yeah.
And honestly, if you didn't have much money, you could sit up top for like $8.
Yeah.
On on a Wednesday evening, you could sit up top for $8 and enjoy a game, and you get the full experience. Kills 3.5 hours, and it's this real like family. It's a generational sport. Yeah. So people remember that memory of going with their grandpa or their dad or their uncle. Yeah. And
I think that's everything to do with price.
And despite MLB's lack of popularity, let's be clear, like baseball compared to those sports just hasn't grown the way the other sports have grown. And I think that's what I saw post the Dodgers win. Like I saw people posting like pictures of like generational of Dodger fans.
Yeah. It is definitely that. And I think that they do a really good job at that. I mean, I also think this is the same for our friends like Omar and stuff like that. But during my old TV days, no one embraced us like the Dodgers. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I did the first pitch twice.
Yeah.
If you're in LA and you're any sort of celebrity influencer or whatever, they'll let you throw that damn ball at the start of the game. They take care of you. They build relationships. We've done projects with the Dodgers.
They're definitely ingrained in the community.
Yeah. I never spoke to anyone from the Lakers.
The problem is the Lakers are too hot.
Yeah.
Right? So when you're that hot, it's like no discounts, no family night. We don't give a fuck if you can't family night for $4,000. You and your family could maybe sit and see
the rafters.
I mean, and literally the contrast to the Dodgers is very few people have Lakers experiences. Tickets are so goddamn expensive.
They don't. They really
I know
don't.
so many diehard basketball fans that you just kind of run into. They'd be like, I've never been to a Laker game.
No.
Yeah.
You would not find that about a Dodger game.
I'm telling you what, man, 32 years, you humbles you. You know what I mean? You really embrace the city of LA.
Yeah, and I think because the Dodgers are not the Lakers and they have to pack the seats every night, they have to have like, community night.
Yeah, you have 45,000 seats.
Armenian night, Indian night.
81 games.
Lakers are like, turn the fucking lights down. Yeah. And this same guy's been announcing for 30 years he's going to be here. And you don't want to come? Look, when the Lakers sucked the last couple of years, tickets were not cheap.
I mean, the only time I got a chance to sit courtside was when the Lakers were literally terrible.
Yeah, we sat pretty close to courtside on a shitty game one time. Yeah.
I mean, I got invited, by friends more when they were shitty than.
Yeah, there's no way we're going to invite the last year. No one's inviting us.
And not for the next few.
Yeah.
Well, props to the team, to the team and the team.
Yeah.
They do a great job with that. And they freaking won, man. I mean, anytime it goes that long, and to have 3 out of 4 years going for it,
Yeah.
finally you brought it home.
It's great. Well, the big controversy from is actually someone I know, Justin Turner.
Good old Justin. And I got to once again disclose, he's a great guy.
Great guy. He was an early Menlo Club member.
Yeah.
Known him for a long time.
But
I even
unfortunately-
ran for his charity for the Justin Turner Foundation.
But listen, when Revolve stock's down, we talk about it.
Yeah.
When Quibi closes doors, we talk about it.
Yeah.
Justin, we got to talk about you, man.
A huge fan. Love what you're doing. But
What the fuck are you doing?
What are you doing, Justin?
Jesus Christ.
so here's where I'm not blaming him completely. In the second inning of the World Series, in Game 6, I think they got notified that Justin
I
Turner.
think in the 6th inning, they got notified that he can't go back in because they have a positive test.
Why are you telling this guy in the 6th fucking inning?
How does that happen?
Yeah, so there's so many.
Did he get
things-
tested in the 3rd inning?
How's Justin not feeling well? And they're like, you know what? We're going to test him, but it looks like we'll get his results around the 6th inning.
Yeah.
How about no? Just
Yeah.
wait.
Yeah.
At that point.
Exactly. And so I don't know what happened. This is some
I
weird.
think honestly, we could get to the Justin Turner part, but what the fuck is the MLB doing?
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's so many options to testing. I don't know what test they were using. It sounds like they're using a rapid test.
Yeah.
A rapid test is 15 minutes.
Exactly.
Not
So
6
did they
innings.
test him in the 5th inning?
Maybe
Like, where
they-
did the timing work out? Because either they tested him in the 5th inning
Because
or the day before, knowing that it would lead in, I don't know.
Why aren't you telling him before the game? So then he gets notified. They have to pull him from the freaking game. He's like one of their stars.
Yeah.
Not in the game. So then they win and everyone's like, Justin Turner's not in. Like, where's this guy? And then it's told on TV and
Yeah, it's
everywhere
leaked.
that it's positive. And then I'm watching the celebration and I see him in the...
Yeah, he's on the field. He
He's
took his mask off.
Kissing his
and
wife.
Kissed the trophy.
Yeah.
Did you know people kiss the trophy?
Oh my, it's like a joke. Like he has corona and he's licking the trophy and now they're passing it around.
So here's what's even shadier is one of the big baseball writers tweeted, like right as the celebrations were going on,
Yeah.
every Dodger, everyone's getting tested as soon as they get back to the hotel. We haven't heard anything.
Yeah, test them this morning. How many Dodgers woke up with a sore throat today? Jesus.
And I don't know. It didn't seem like anyone gave a shit.
No.
Because
This
all
guy-
the owners were on the field.
They were
Magic
hugging
was
him.
there, no mask.
Magic had no
I
mask.
mean, Magic, we all know, is not as afraid of a virus.
But he also has a pre-existing condition.
Yeah, but he knows. He's like,
It's
yeah,
all
right.
good.
This
If
little
I beat
bat.
HIV, I'm not
Like, I
beating
beat
HIV
HIV
AIDS.
like
You
in
think
the
I'm worried about
win-
his
yeah.
fucking
in the 80s. When did he beat it?
in the 90s.
I beat it in the 90s.
I mean, he got it in the
beat
80s,
the
yeah, late
Rona.
80s, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, what was funny to me was he came back out on the field, so the whole team, everyone knows, and everyone is hugging him. He takes
No
his
one
mask
cared.
off for the team pick. No one cared. I mean, that was to me like some real look into what like these TikTok parties must look like.
Yeah.
Just a disregard. Like they're like, fuck it.
And they're from LA. It's not like we're talking they're from Alabama or Texas or Georgia.
They did not care, and he was hugging some older people. Not,
I mean, the
you know,
coach looks old.
not senior citizens, but
Yeah, he's definitely got to be in his
higher
50s.
risk individuals.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I bet a lot of Dodgers woke up with a hangover, a sore throat.
Yeah.
But fuck it, they're champions.
They're champions, world champs. Congrats.
Good job, guys. Okay, you want to jump into some quick, we were talking about election stuff, but election stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So number one, you just talked about your mail-in ballot process, your going and voting process, all that stuff. Apparently, in the long list of concerns from both sides about these mail-in ballots, one of the things is just that millions of people who signed up for the mail-in ballot have not returned them, and the window is rapidly closing. So, I mean, I don't know. I also think, of course, this is going to happen. A lot of people are going to be like, "Oh, I just signed up for my ballot," and great. That is, like, you kind of tried to do your part, but when it comes to actually filling it out and mailing it back, it's like, it's a little too much.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I mean, like I had requested the ballot and I chose to vote in person
Yeah, there's probably a lot of that too.
and disregarded the mailing of my ballot. But, with election day less than a week away, more than 42 million out of 92 million mail-in ballots requested by voters nationally have not been returned as of Wednesday. That's yesterday.
Yeah.
And so just to give some data here, in the 20 states where party affiliation data was available, more than 11 million of the outstanding ballots had been requested by Democrats and 8 million by Republicans and about 10 million by unaffiliated voters. So, it's enough of a meaty number of people that can swing the election.
Oh, for sure. The last election was 70,000 votes on 4 states.
Yeah. So...
Yeah, that's really interesting, man. This has to be record most votes ever, right?
Yeah, even, I talked about early voting in Texas earlier, I think this week or last week, but they're just predicting just massive numbers in Texas. And what's interesting, the massive turnouts are in Houston, which is pretty liberal.
Yeah.
Austin. And they even did a thing where the most, they have it by last names. It's actually really interesting. So let me figure out exactly. I think it's in Houston, the most popular last names of people that have voted.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if it gives you any indication of who they're voting for. So this is Harris County in Houston. In-person voters, most popular last names, most common.
Okay.
Nguyen, number 1.
In what city?
Harris County in Houston.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So big
Nguyen's a
white,
Vietnamese.
big white turnout.
So Vietnamese people, where do you guys fall?
I don't know.
I guess I don't know anymore.
Yeah.
Because you told me there's a big Indian Trump thing. There's a lot of Latinos.
The one thing in Florida, which has been pretty well reported, that the Latino population in Florida are a lot of people that fled from Cuba, Venezuela.
Cubans are definitely Trump.
And Cubans obviously, but other socialist countries and Latin countries that were clearly oppressive regimes, and they're all voting for Trump.
Yeah.
Because the messaging is, you vote Biden,
you're going back to your home.
You're going back to what it was like at home. That's how they're targeting these voters, and they're all voting Trump. Whereas Latinos in California think differently.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
And
okay.
so
right,
number 2 surname was Smith. Okay. Williams is 3. Okay. Johnson.
So 3 or 4.
Jones. Jones could go either way. Garcia.
Okay.
Sure.
Rodriguez, Martinez, Brown, and Davis. Interesting, right?
That was in person?
That was in-person voting in Harrison County. I cannot believe there's this many Vietnamese people.
So you're telling me number 1 is
a Vietnamese last name.
Okay. All right. Well, it looks like, I think that when this is all over, if the country's still standing, it'd be cool to see the recap. Here's how many mail-ins happened. Here's who did it. Here's how many showed up. What are the total numbers?
Yeah. So I think what we could pretty much say definitively about the way they count votes is that it's probably directionally right. It's clear in a nail biter. I have no faith in the system because you remember the 2000 election where all the hanging chat that looks like a Gore vote.
Just tossing him in the pot. This one doesn't count.
Yeah, and this is honestly an apolitical statement. Yep. Whether I don't know if they're over or undercounting Republican votes or over undercounting Democratic votes. What I do know for sure is the votes count's not accurate.
Yeah, there's a lean.
It's just we directionally think Wisconsin went towards Biden.
Yeah, look, I think for Biden to win and it not to be a civil war, he's got to win by a lot. Because even by a margin, both sides are going to fight.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's going to be. I've been following Nate Silver 538, where he kind of breaks down now daily polls and numbers. Biden's leading in every single poll. In certain polls, it's a little smaller. And then all the state races that need to flip are very tight. Like the North Carolinas, the Floridas, the Texas, the Georgias. They're all expecting huge turnout.
They're within the margin of error
on both sides. You can
Michigan, I saw Biden's leading by 8. And what I actually thought was interesting is, forget the polling, if you see where the Democrats are using their stars. So last 4 days or the weekend was Obama in Florida.
Yeah.
So they clearly thought Florida they have a shot at.
Still in play.
Yeah, they're like, if they're using Obama in Florida over the weekend,
Yeah.
10 days before the election, it means they think they have a shot. They're sending him to Michigan this weekend.
Yeah.
So they want to make sure. And I'm curious. I honestly would just follow where Obama's going, where the Democrats think they have a shot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because let's be clear, Biden and Harris, great people.
Fine
Everyone
people.
wants to hear Obama talk.
Yeah, that's
Well,
true.
he'll at least
They're voting
get,
for the guy who worked with Obama.
Yeah. It's like Virgil. It's like,
Yeah,
can't get Kanye.
And
Totally.
then,
That's how Virgil got big.
I don't
Yeah.
even know if you put this up there. Obama on the Shop this
Yeah.
Friday.
Which is the HBO
Oh,
show
wow.
produced by LeBron.
So it's LeBron, Maverick Carter, and Obama.
I think it's late. I think it's too late. Like Friday, I mean, this is such a
I think
different
this
election.
is Maverick Carter's like, I need the ratings.
Yeah.
I don't really care about the votes.
Because this should have happened 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an early voting crowd.
It's a very different election. I mean,
But for ratings, from a ratings perspective,
Maverick won.
Maverick won.
Yeah.
Yes.
The big winner here is Maverick.
yes. And
And so it's funny, like, obviously he's a big deal, but you're talking Barack Obama and LeBron, and they all are
Inserted him.
equal. Like
Yeah.
the way the intro is.
Yep.
It's like, oh, there's Obama, there's LeBron, there's Maverick Carter. It's like,
Yeah.
whoa, they're all the same.
All the same.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we will see. It's going to be absolutely insane, but I think, whatever. I'm just excited to see the recap if we're all safe.
yeah.
How about this Glenn Greenwald story?
Yeah.
So this guy, Glenn Greenwald, the massive journalist, the guy who Snowden went to release all the information originally that he found, who also, Anand said, has currently an incredible episode that just posted on Rogan.
Yep.
Um,
Before being canceled, I have not listened to the Alex Jones podcast.
I have. It was
Joe
amazing.
Rogan.
Everyone should listen to it.
Because
Cancel me.
I'll tell you. So let's jump on this Joe Rogan thing. We call him a genius. We gave him credit, all this stuff.
Yep.
Regardless of what is said on the podcast, let's assume Alex Jones played the podcast really well. Okay, I didn't listen to it, right?
Yeah.
So he
I'll
did.
tell you.
So he was a little crazy a while, but like for the most part, said the truth, whatever. The problem is that is not his reputation.
Yeah. That's
And
the problem.
So when you give someone, and this is the argument that everyone's saying, is that when you give someone like Alex Jones a platform like Joe Rogan, which is the biggest platform on earth at the moment, and definitely in America, then what happens? So let's say your first time listening to Alex Jones is that episode. Okay.
Yep.
What do? You go to YouTube. You go to you go to the dark web and you start reading about Alex Jones. And it leads you down a path where you get infiltrated with information that's not entirely accurate.
Yep.
The guy thinks everything is a conspiracy.
Yep.
Like nothing is just because it happened.
Yep.
And so that's where I think I was I understand why he has Alex Jones. He's obviously incredible to interview.
Yeah.
He's very entertaining. It's great for downloads.
Yeah.
But
yes. So here's the argument, right? And I'm not necessarily passionately making this argument, but I get the argument and I'm fine with it. Is number one, the argument is you should always let these ideas have the light as opposed to if they exist in the darkness and Alex Jones is just quietly building an army, that's way more dangerous because there's never anyone to check him or say that's wrong. So what Joe Rogan did flawlessly on that episode was he repeatedly checked and fact-checked everything he said. Everything he said, where's the article? There is no article. Google it, look it up. There's no article. Even on the vaccine thing that is going viral, it's because Alex Jones said something like, 100% of the people who got this vaccine or 94% got sick and blah, blah, blah. And Joe said, Google it. And when they actually did Google it, there's reports that 75% of people in said trial got sick. And Joe didn't know that. And he's like, oh shit, that is crazy. That is a lot. That's something to consider.
But so when he disproved him on whatever outlandish claims he made, how would Alex Jones respond?
So Alex Jones is just a bit of a loose cannon and he knows it. And Joe kept saying, this is so difficult to talk to you. And he's like, I'm sorry, Joe, don't be mad at me. Joe wants to beat my ass right now. Like he knows. Alex said, look, I'm trying to remember all of this stuff. I'm not trying to lie. It's just the numbers aren't coming out right. I'm trying to tell the truth, right? So the point is, here's the other thing about Alex Jones, though. Here's the other side. And I think this is why Joe Rogan likes him. He was one of the first people to talk about Jeffrey Epstein and a pedophile island that presidents go to have sex with underage girls. That sounded like a crazy conspiracy theory. And he talks about, hey, here are the real numbers on vaccines and what happens and blah, 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 and these polio things and stuff like that. Bohemian Grove, he discovered and snuck into, which is this like private Skull and Bones.
Yeah, I know what it
He
is.
snuck into it. He's the first person to ever have it on video. He walked up to a guy who is a member on video in New York and interviewed him, and he admitted there is a Bohemian Grove. Like, so Alex Jones, there's a side of him that is extremely anti like corruption.
Yeah, I get it.
And I think Joe's angle in that whole thing was, how do I get that out of him and block the crazy?
So I agree. And that's my point is, even let's assume Alex Jones did a phenomenal job on the interview. Like, I haven't watched it, so I'm not going to comment on that.
Yeah.
But let's just say he did a great job and people liked what he had to say. The problem is when you go into the dark web of Alex Jones, you start...
So did he say crazy shit on the podcast?
He just said, like, to be honest with you, the best way to describe it, you guys have to listen to it. The best way to describe it is he's just like Kanye West, except for Joe Rogan interviewed him the way I wish he would have interviewed Kanye West, which is that he called him out on everything.
Yeah.
And so to me, if you have been living in this, look, if you're going to find an Alex Jones character, you're going to find him. Like, he's not hard to find. And you can sit there and be like, oh my God, he's right. This is one of the few occurrences where someone actually pushes back and shows that not everything he says is right. And he's a little kooky and he drinks a lot.
Yeah.
So it's almost like, okay, you sort of like break down, as opposed to like the kid sitting in his basement getting radicalized because no one ever challenges his hero, Alex Jones.
Yeah, I agree.
You know?
That's a good point. That's a good point.
That is a very good point. And I think the real challenge is the way media and information is consumed in 2020. It's the 30-second soundbite clip versus who's going to actually listen to the 3-hour episode other than Joe Rogan fans.
Yeah.
And then now what you have is quote-unquote journalists on Twitter bashing Joe Rogan for having Alex Jones without giving that context.
Yeah. And that's why this stuff is also stupid, because you should never want anyone to just be tucked away. That's a very dangerous recipe. So instead, you should want them to go on a platform where someone's going to challenge them and expose that they're sometimes right. They're a super crazy conspiracy theorist. They drink too much and they're a little fucking too talkative, right? Like, you want to just have conversations and challenge thought, never tuck anyone away. And that's why I think, look, all this bad press and all this shit is just going to continue to make Joe Rogan's platform even bigger. Yeah. Because what's going to happen is people are going to say, you know what? This interview is getting so much buzz. It's such a no-no. What is it? Let me go listen to it. And it's interesting.
Yeah, I agree.
No one's going to get radicalized from that interview. And if you go down that dark train, I just feel like you were going there anyway. And this is probably actually the best hope we have to show this guy's a little cuckoo.
Yeah, I mean, years ago, I went into an Alex Jones, just obsession of just watching all of his videos.
Yeah.
And it's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, which documentary? Wasn't Alex Jones and Rush Limbaugh drinking champagne when Trump won in 2016?
Probably.
It was one of the Roger Ailes documentaries.
Probably. Yeah. He is 100% too stoke. He just likes to stoke the flame. You know?
He's an anarchist.
Yeah.
He really is.
But he also came out apparently with a bunch of critical articles about George W. Bush. He claims on there he's not one side or the other. The point is, look, the guy's kooky.
Yeah.
But he fucking spends his whole life investigating conspiracy theories, and he stumbled on Jeffrey Epstein first and all this weird shit. And you're like, oh my gosh, he's crazy.
Yeah.
And if you listen to him in that context, it's like, what a fascinating interview with a crazy person. The same way the Kanye one was, you know?
Yeah, and I think most adults can view that in that lens and have that interpretation of it. It's similar to the problem of Facebook, right? Mm-hmm. Facebook or Instagram. These things are so powerful that we know that people are heavily influenced by fake news and disinformation and advertising. So when you give big people, you give platforms to things that are dangerous, people just take it out of context.
But let me just tell you what I think the massive difference is, even though they're so similar. One, which is why I hate Facebook, is you're not only giving people a platform, but you're then serving them similar things that reaffirm what they just heard. You are never challenging the thought.
So at least Joe Rogan's challenging him.
So by having him on a platform that instead challenges him, what if you saw an article about the immigrant, the caravan, and then the next article was, well, let's look a little deeper into what the facts are. But you can't do that on those platforms.
Yeah, that's fair.
Where here, you're giving them a platform, but on that platform, you're challenging their
Okay,
thought.
so we love Joe Rogan.
It's just, look, I hate to keep going on the Love Joe Rogan, but the fact that this guy, I'm pretty sure that all this Spotify boycott stuff was because of people like Alex Jones on his show. He went and had Alex Jones back on his show instead of, all the conspiracy was Rogan is catering to Spotify and they took off the episodes and blah, blah, blah.
So he wanted to show his clout.
So he went back, showed his clout. Here's Alex Jones again. Fuck all you guys. And you do Kanye West one day, you do Alex Jones the next, you do Glenn Greenwald the next. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's the best guess.
But anyway, listen to it. I think if anything, you guys would just be a little annoyed because you have a shorter fuse than I do for crazy.
Yeah.
And you'll be like, whatever, this guy's just fucking like cuckoo bird. But there's nothing to be offended by or outraged by. It's just that in cancel world, you see Alex Jones and you're like, cancel.
Well,
cancel,
you see the
cancel.
clips.
Yeah.
Right? You're canceling off clips. I understand that.
But I will tell you, when you want to talk about Joe Rogan's like data memorization, that episode's a really good one to be like, Jesus Christ. Because he's able to call people out only because he knows these weird facts.
Yeah. So Glenn Greenwald was his guest on Wednesday.
Yeah.
I have a whole conspiracy on now Glenn Greenwald because I did not know he was a guest on Joe Rogan.
So you're the Alex Jones.
I'm the Alex Jones of Joe Rogan.
You had some Alex Jones type theories.
Yeah,
about a year ago.
I got into his whole 9/11 a lot.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I remember Dee used to hit us with. He had a little Alex Jones segment here on Group Chat.
Yeah. So Glenn Greenwald, who famously interviewed Snowden in Hong Kong, fled America effectively. I don't know if he's a welcome back or what's he.
No, so.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't think about how he was affected by all that.
Yeah, he talks about it on Rogan. So as soon as this all broke, he went to Brazil because he didn't feel safe in the U.S. But 10 months in, I remember I think he talks about it on the podcast, he came back to the U.S.
Good.
So now he can come back to the U.S. freely without being
Nothing
arrested.
happened.
So let me give you my conspiracy.
There was people showing up. So I remember he was saying at the height of, I haven't even gotten to this part of the podcast, I'm sure he talks about it, at the height of where Snowden, he's in limbo.
Mm-hmm.
Like they went to Glenn Greenwald's boyfriend's house in Brazil and like raided it.
To try to find out where he was?
No, to try to find information.
Like where Snowden was?
No, more information that they have that hasn't been leaked yet on USB drives.
Yep.
So Glenn Greenwald started The Intercept, popular website.
So he was at The Guardian when he did the Snowden break.
Okay.
And then
started The Intercept.
He was a co-founder of Intercept, but
he started it?
But there must be someone else.
Yeah, he's co.
Yeah.
There must be someone else he started it.
I know exactly what it is. Keep talking. It's another famous writer.
So he today resigned from The Intercept. And he said he resigned because he was going to publish an article that was critical of Joe Biden in regards to the Hunter Biden situation.
Yep.
And all the other publishers of The Intercept said, we can't allow this. And he's saying they said we can't allow it because it is critical of Joe Biden. So he thinks they're playing favoritism to Joe Biden.
Yep.
Other people who support The Intercept say that there's a lot of misinformation in the article, so they don't feel it was accurate to be publishing that. My theory, this fucker was going to leave anyways, and he went on Joe Rogan, and his social media probably exploded.
Yeah.
And he's like, fuck it. I'm going to go
I
make
don't
a
even
controversial
think
statement.
that's a conspiracy theory. I think that's just like a good business move.
Yeah.
So here's The Intercept's background. It was founded by Pierre Omidyar, who is eBay founder, co-founder of eBay. And they gave Glenn Greenwald and Jeremy Scahill, who was the other big writer, co-founding credit, but they were technically the editors. But it's all funded by this guy, Pierre.
So was it Pierre? Like, how do you get, like, how are you forced to leave your own?
Well, no, I think this guy was looking to make a move. Yeah. He goes on Joe Rogan, and maybe there was pushback on this Joe Biden article.
Yeah.
And he's like, screw it, I'm going to go. He started a Substack today.
Yeah, Substack's the hottest thing if you are a hot writer. So what is like a top
Medium type thing or no?
Yeah, it's like Medium, but you can charge. They handle all your back end for you.
It's like a Patreon for
writing. They handle all your back end. So if you are a writer with a huge following, what's New York Times paying you? $100,000?
Yeah.
I don't know what they're paying. You can make $1 million a year if you go solo. Like there's writers charging $15, $20 a month to get articles from them.
And if you have 1,000 followers at $15 a month,
Yeah.
I mean, that's 15 grand a month. Writers aren't making 180 grand a year.
No, and they're probably and like a Glenn Greenwald's going to get tens of thousands.
Especially fresh off Joe Rogan. He goes on Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
The next day launches a Substack.
Yeah.
Fuck out of here, bro.
Yeah, he's
So
like,
I'm not subscribing to your
you guys.
Substack.
Plus that story of like, that makes him look so good.
Yeah, now everyone's posting freedom of speech. All those Matt Taibbi, all those types of folks that like all believe in like freedom of expression. They're all posting
So
it.
you're calling bullshit on Glenn Greenwald?
Yeah, he's
That was
just a
marketing.
hustler.
If that was marketing, that was incredible marketing.
I think
that
it's all
combo
marketing.
of those two things in the same week of your stories.
He knew what he was doing. He's a smart guy.
Yeah.
He's very
Because
smart.
I'll tell you what, I'm a,
And I'm not subscribing to your Substack.
no, I'll maybe check his podcast out. I don't want to be on your Substack.
Yeah.
I don't want. Come on.
Too intrusive.
He's smart.
What's this story about hackers stealing $2.3 million from the Wisconsin Republican Party?
Phishing scam. This,
Is that like where you send out links? And
yeah, you know,
someone
like
clicks it?
wire me 200 grand and I'm some
Yeah.
fucking idiot.
I mean, it seems like the Wisconsin Republican Party is probably a good spot to
place to start.
cast your rod if you're trying to fish. And they worked. $2.3 million.
Good for them.
Did they get away with it?
I mean, I don't know if they've arrested anyone yet.
Okay.
You know, it just came out when I saw this, so
Good timing.
it'll be. It's just kind of like
I saw some headline that was just like the DOJ and they're not letting other people look into it and they're kind of like sweeping it under the table. They're not going to really
Yeah,
arrest
whatever.
anybody.
I mean, come on. We got less than a week. Let that go.
yeah.
You know?
I'm curious to see what happened. I mean, we may find out weeks later that the guy running the Republican Party in Wisconsin stole the money,
Yeah.
and he just saying it's phishing.
Or maybe they guessed MAGA 2020.
Yeah.
Okay, and then what's this last, not really election related, but I guess kind of, Trump administration looking at eliminating H-1B visa lottery. So 2 questions I have. Number 1, why the fuck is this even a news story like 5 days before an election? And number 2, meaning what I mean is like, why are you even, I wouldn't be saying any of your new thoughts or plans until Wednesday.
Yeah.
And also, can you just clarify, because I'm not totally clear, so I'm sure some of the listeners aren't either, the lottery process for H-1B, that's something that you just sort of, a lot of people can enter, they draw at random who gets the H-1B visa?
Yeah, you have to qualify to fall under an H-1B visa first.
What's H-1B? Is that?
So the H-1B visa is for people who live and born abroad, have separate citizenship. They get into a lottery because they have a skill that American companies could benefit from. So it's engineers. It's like high skilled positions.
and you
It's
come
mainly
here with a
engineers.
work visa is what you would
Yes.
Yeah, it's predominantly engineers and a shitload of Indians.
Indians and Asians.
Yeah.
have. So we're not happy about this.
So
Because I'm an honorary
Hindu.
Hindu, and me and my homies over here are not pumped.
Yeah, they're
So I actually think it's stupid on all accounts. So it's put the workers aside.
Yeah.
And the people that are just trying to live a better life, which is what this country was supposedly created on.
Yeah.
Something like
That's
that, right?
white.
Yeah. Yeah.
You didn't say white in there.
Yeah.
But the problem is, from America's own interest, this is just stupid.
You want the best talent.
Look at TikTok. TikTok is a Chinese-owned company with Chinese engineers that's kicking everyone's ass and
look
stealing
at
our data.
all of Silicon Valley.
Bring all the talent here.
Yeah.
Stop letting them build companies abroad, and then they become our enemies.
I mean, look at the top 5 stocks that are keeping your precious little stock market alive, and I'm guessing, check out the staff.
Check the CEOs out.
Yeah.
Microsoft, Google.
It's just dumb. It's just dumb. But I mean, look, I think in a world where your base hates immigrants and thinks everyone's a threat and thinks American jobs are coming back and your factory's going to be here in no time,
Like
I think they only operate on what they think their base will like.
Because all this will, in long term, I don't know what's going to happen because it all depends on who's in power.
Yeah.
All this will do is make American technology companies worse.
weak.
And
We'll just have
foreign
5
technology companies
TikToks.
stronger, and then Americans are going to rely on those companies, and then they're going to have all our data.
Yeah.
All right. So there we go. Let's announce that as a little bit of a Hope we get a couple points with
Like,
our.
do you think the Wisconsin was like, yeah, fuck them H-1Bs?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. H-1B is for terrorism only if you're a Wisconsin Trump voter. Okay. Next up,
People barely see black people.
I know.
In all
You're talking about,
honesty?
you want to send me an H-1B? That sounds like another virus.
Right, it does
Sounds like another virus.
If you start in like
That could be like on Facebook, the H-1B is the new virus.
Yes.
And everyone be scared of H-1B.
It would work.
Oh my God.
H-1Bs are coming.
Yeah.
You want to see some of those Midwesterners that really didn't get much schooling?
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't really know much about
And
it.
because scientists could
no.
technically be H-1Bs, them scientists, them H-1Bs cooking
Yeah.
up a new virus.
It could be
I
a
don't
B.
like when you combine the
know,
letters and the numbers.
My cousin's buddy, his mother got
His
it,
buddy, right?
and she died. And that's why we should be afraid. Trump.
I've heard it was one of them H-1Bs
Yeah,
that
but
got it.
Trump will keep us safe. Don't
Yeah,
you worry.
he will.
Vote
Yes, he
Trump.
will. Lock it up. Build that
Yeah.
wall.
Get that Cummins truck on. Vroom, vroom, vroom. Load the black smoke and drive away.
Oh, man. Okay. But we could start our own podcast
Yeah, right.
under alter ego.
Yeah.
You know, and it'd
Just
just
talk.
be us and those voices.
No video, just
No.
audio.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it'd be kind of Sacha Baron Cohen. Maybe we get some.
Yeah.
What? We don't need disguise.
What?
If we don't do video, we don't need
Well,
disguise.
no. Okay, no video. All right, moving on. When it comes to when you're just browsing through a news app these days, if you can make it through the sea of Hunter Biden and election and blah 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 blah, what you get is a little bit of biggest wildfires ever.
Yep.
That'll trickle in there, and then you got Zeta.
Yeah.
Hurricane Zeta has slammed into the Gulf Coast. And it seems to be a pretty big deal that I just don't think, I think in normal times we'd probably be talking about it a lot more.
Yeah.
Seems pretty devastating.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy. Like power's out so many places. 2 million people affected in Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia. I mean, I saw a video of Bourbon Street in New Orleans, like no power. I mean,
Man, Louisiana gets it bad.
It's a tough place to live.
Yeah.
I just feel like if you were born in that area, your family's in that area, like the last
30 years.
30 years, you've just gotten rocked.
Yeah,
by these-
Katrina I was in college, so that was what, 04?
Yeah.
03?
I know, it was a long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm sure we'll get some more numbers as time goes on, but it's just like in the middle of all this election stuff, you don't even really hear about it.
Yeah.
Which is, I cannot imagine living in a freaking hurricane zone and it's like election time, hurricane,
And you gotta
COVID.
go.
You got to you're out of your house. You got to go to a shelter. There's COVID everywhere. Jesus. All right. Let's talk about some real news. Emily Ratajkowski is pregnant.
Yes. Big news.
Big. You know what? Enough of all this silly stuff.
Yeah.
Let's get to the stuff that matters.
Yeah.
First, we got a couple ads. Pete.
So interesting. I have an ad from somebody, a listener,
So you're collecting
From
private dollars or what?
Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Are you getting
Go
Venmo?
Brewers.
Are you getting Venmo to your personal account?
Well, interesting enough.
Seems like a scandal brewing.
Seems like Dee's doing side deals.
yeah.
He's our Hunter Biden.
Hunter Biden over here collecting money. Oh my God.
I'm gonna play the ad. He did an ad for New Republic that is just hysterical, really well done.
Wow.
And he's like, "This is not your boy Pete, it's your boy." Now cue the ad.
This is great. I don't have to do it then. Awesome.
All right, that was good. Good job. I mean, talk about a
we
new take.
should launch the stream.
Shit. Why doesn't Emily Ratajkowski? Is this some gender?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
nonsense.
She's the worst.
Podcast. It's your boy at Hazel_. Not your boy Pete, but a fellow Wisconsinite. And we're going to be talking about a very familiar brand for you, New Republic. We're not going to be talking about the sneaker this summer, the Bowery canvas sneaker. We're actually going to be talking about the Apollo, a leather-bound.
He's got a good ad voice.
Yeah.
He does.
Absolutely kicks ass. By the
Got a
way,
great voice.
if you didn't know, this shoe makes you feel like you're walking on the surface of the fucking moon. Even though I live in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where I won't be able to wear these shoes for the next 6 to 12 months.
6 to
When
12.
I do get to wear them, I am going to look cool as fuck. So I suggest that you head over to shopnewrepublic.com and pick up a pair for yourself this winter so that you have them in advance of a badass vaccinated 2021.
That's really good.
That's really good. That is really good.
Email that to Tim, right?
Yeah, I'll do it right now.
Are we ready?
Yeah, we're live.
Wow. I mean, I think, Pete, I hate to say it, man.
This guy's coming for your job.
This guy's coming for your neck.
I don't know if reading ads is exactly in my job description when I started here. But if he would like to take over that part of my job, it would be fantastic.
Sounds like you keep passing off parts of your job.
Yes, because I keep picking up so many other
Tim
jobs.
wasn't here.
Whoa. Danny was here.
This guy asked for a raise and starts cutting parts of his job.
He's
To
delegating.
pick up 9,000 other jobs.
Well, listen, as much as we've talked about your ad voice and it has gotten better, I think this guy just smoked you.
He smoked me out of the water.
And he was funny.
I'm always a guy that'll like own up to stuff like that. That guy knows what he's doing.
And he's from Wisconsin.
It's funny. He cursed in just the right ways.
He's what you wanted, and I'm who you got.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, how's it going?
How's it going?
Instagram versus reality. Okay, we got a really good newsletter coming.
Great one.
This is really, really interesting stuff. We're talking about this Bezos potential CNN purchase.
Yeah.
We got a full breakdown. So make sure you subscribe to our newsletter, melrosestreetjournal.com. Sign up. And if you're already subscribed, you got a hot one coming your way.
It is in your inbox shortly.
Okay. Now, we've had a fun...
Actually, it came out today. What am I talking about?
Yeah, came out this morning.
Oh, yeah, it's in there now.
Yeah.
So make sure you check your spam folder. If you're not getting it for some reason,
Yeah.
could be in your spam folder.
Okay. Okay, now, we've had a whole episode about silly, fun stuff, right? Let's talk about what really matters.
Mm-hmm.
Emily Wadajabadowski.
Yeah.
Okay, we've all heard of her. We've all seen her.
Everyone's
in
seen
the movies, in the photo shoots. Ever since her video shoot with Robin Thicke,
Yep.
she's taken over the scene.
Yep.
She is now pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
Congratulations.
congratulations. Big news number one. Big news number two, in a true effort to change the way we do things, she has decided not to reveal the gender of her baby. Now, is this for privacy reasons? She doesn't want the press getting all up in her business?
No, I think the bigger reason is she was in her Vogue interview. She says, when my husband and I tell friends that I'm pregnant, their first question after congratulations is always, do you know what you want? We like to respond that we won't know the gender until our child is 18 and that they'll let us know then. Everyone laughs at this. There's a truth to our line, though one that hints at possibilities that are much more complex than whatever genitalia our child might be born with, and then goes on.
Is this a topic we could get canceled on if we're honest?
Yeah.
So.
Well, I don't know with our audience. I think we're fine, but yeah. Yeah, it is. So I don't know how
if
you want to do the letter by the law, right?
Yep.
If you're born with certain genitalia, you are a male or a female. If you choose to be a different gender down the line, you get to choose.
And let me just say,
Right?
it's even a little deeper than genitalia. It's DNA.
Yeah.
But if you choose differently, that's okay.
That's totally fine.
But at birth, you are a gender.
Yeah.
Not if you're little Radajabadowski.
Tim, are you gender fluid?
I'm gonna chime in here.
Ooh, okay, Tim.
I would say on most topics, I'm probably further left than you guys, or at least in part of the woke community that you say lose each week. But I'd say what you just referred to is sex, and that's very different from gender. You know, male and female versus like masculinity and femininity are very different. And it affects every aspect of your life. It's like growing up and everyone's saying, you like blue, you like sports, you like this. That's that. None of that, like
But let me ask you a question,
having
Tim.
whatever genitals you have has no relationship to that.
Correct. But Tim, let me ask you a question. Don't you think that when people go up to Emily Radajabadowski and say, what do you think you're having? They are referring to the sex of your child?
I feel like that would be strange for them to need to know that.
But Tim, that's
just
what,
a comment,
that's what
like,
everyone in the world does, though, Tim.
But that's just even me. When I had our second one, everyone's like, "What are you having?" And I said, "I'm having a boy."
Yeah,
You lied.
I'd say
What?
You don't know if you're having a boy.
No, I had a boy. I had 2 boys.
How old is Dom?
3.
15 more years, bro. But
Let me tell you, the way he acts,
Tim. Here's
he's
the point,
nuts.
Tim, that I think, and look, I think we could probably debate this until 5 p.m.
This would take forever.
But here's my only point is I think that we're adding a new thing and everyone's not on the same page. So I think when someone comes up and says, what are you having? They mean, are you having a boy or a girl? Mm-hmm. And boys and girls do exist. Now, when it comes to gender of I get it, you should be able to choose what you're into and you shouldn't be forced to be into blue. And I think that's all totally fine. If you were born a male, but resonate more with being a female and you want to be called Jessica and whatever, that doesn't bother me whatsoever. But I just think that like on the most basic level, when someone says, are you having a boy or a girl, which is a question that almost everyone asks when they see a pregnant woman, that's what they mean. They don't mean like, how are you going to groom this thing? To what color is it going to like? Like they're not, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, isn't it though? Like you're asking that for the purpose of probably buying them a gift or something, you know, like you want to play into these gender roles that are enforced from the moment you're born.
I'll play devil's advocate as a parent. So how do you raise your kids then?
With whatever color they seem to gravitate
towards. So how do they?
Whatever.
So you have a 6-month-old, a 12-month-old. They can't
pick.
choose. They don't pick.
Don't know.
So what kind of clothes are you going to dress them
If I told my son the way you ask for food is fucking give me food, then he will go and repeat fucking give me food every time he's hungry.
True.
He would.
He may do that already.
He's not far from that right now.
Yeah.
So my question is like we have to, no matter what, we're teaching our kids something because they, as a parent, have gone through it. I'm going through it for the second time with a baby. It's when they go to sleep, when they learn, you know, what music they listen to. We're influencing them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. How do you do that gender neutrally?
And that all of those things.
They only get gray?
I think you have to buy it all
or
and see what they choose.
Yeah.
No, I think just like you don't need to adhere to these norms. You can, you know, whatever.
Do you think everyone
you find something
should
androgynous that doesn't like.
This is a different question. Do you think everyone should parent like that, or if you just choose to, and we shouldn't judge?
I mean, I think in general people should be able to do what they want. That's like the beauty of the country.
Is your comment the way we're talking about raising our children by the sex that they?
But
were
what
born
are we
with?
doing that's making him a boy? For example, give me an example because I'm just oblivious to it.
All the cars.
Yeah.
That she got for Dom.
But he's gravitating towards
I'll
that.
give
These
you an
are
example.
typically a
No,
master.
but here's the thing. Listen. I already have the example of that.
Yeah.
He watched Frozen. That was the first probably movie he'd ever watched. He liked the music. Didn't really take away from anything. He got a glimpse of Cars and his head exploded.
Yeah.
Right? And so he clearly gravitated towards Cars. We played Frozen for him first because we knew our friend's daughter was listening to the music and he liked the music. So I was like, great, let's watch Frozen.
Yeah.
And we had the Frozen books. And then as soon as he saw Cars, he was like, whoa. Like he sees a garbage truck, I have to pull the fuck over and we have to sit and look at it. Right? It's like, but that, you know, I didn't tell him to like
he's
garbage
gravitating
trucks.
towards
I
it.
didn't tell him to like Cars. I showed him Frozen.
Yeah.
And when he saw Cars, his head exploded.
Yeah.
So it's like, parents' responsibility,
parents-
we have to show them everything. I mean, it's like we have to buy them everything. It's like just being realistic. I understand what you're saying. I didn't tell him to watch Cars and not like Frozen.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
But there are parents who do that. I mean, you're probably a much more progressive parent than probably the majority of the country.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's many. I don't think there's actually many parents out there that like buy cars,
force their
toys,
kids into
and
sports.
say, like,
I'll
like,
tell you,
this
the
is very
majority
common.
of parents are just trying to survive. And they're like, your kid likes fucking cars? Here, take your cars and shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Your kid likes Frozen? Take Frozen and shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Most parents don't have the luxury to be like, I'm going to buy you everything and let's just sit for 12 hours and see what you like.
Yeah, I just don't think.
But Tim, do boys and girls exist? Are you born a boy or a girl?
Males and females exist.
Yeah.
I think gender is a social construct.
And what are you?
Oh, I know gender is a social construct.
What are you?
I identify as a boy, as a guy. Yeah.
But so my question is on the most fundamental level, back to the beginning of the conversation, and I think we have to move on because once again, we could do it for so long.
Yeah.
Is if somebody says, if they just say, what are you having, a boy or a girl? Isn't that a fair question that there is an answer to?
Yeah, well, I think it's just the assumption that they're going to respond to that
forget about
with
all the assumptions,
what they're going to buy.
But forget about all assumptions or what anyone else what their motives could be. If I say, are you having a boy or a girl? Is that not a valid question that has a real answer?
I think it just isn't relevant.
No, but
Like,
That's
it
where
is-
the trickery starts, though. What I'm saying
drama,
is,
isn't it genetically proven that you're predisposed to have certain characteristics if you are
Yes.
bisex a male, bisex a female?
Yes.
That is proven, scientifically proven.
Yes.
And yes, there are a portion of the population that aren't genetically predisposed to have these characteristics, and therefore they choose to be another gender. And that's also okay.
yes. But so this is how I'm going to wrap it up. This is my only point here, because I don't give a shit what anyone does or what anyone's into or zero. My point is, this shit feels so pointless. And it feels like when so much real shit is going on in the world, this feels pointless. And it feels like all the things that Emily Ratajkowski could talk about, this isn't, it feels like we're going off on this thing that isn't
So
valuable. And what I mean by that,
Yeah.
because I don't want to get fucking canceled,
yeah.
is at the most basic level, if someone says, are you having a boy or a girl? We don't need to blow it into this whole other thing of what are they going to identify
You could say, look,
as.
I'm having a boy, but the boy can be a girl.
You have to caveat it, I guess.
Yeah, it just feels, I don't know. The way that feels to me is like, I'm the most, maybe not the most, but I'm a very open person with what anyone does with their time or with their, like, I could not care less, but like, why are we getting hung up on? And here we are doing it right here.
Because I think for the people that struggle with it, they view it as a daunting daily task. And that's why for them, it's like the equivalent of being black in America.
Yeah, but the person asking, are you having a boy or a girl, is not trying to oppress anyone. They're just asking a question to be friendly, and there's an answer
honestly,
to that
you
question.
could say that about race if you're a white couple and having a white kid. I don't know, maybe he wants to be black.
Yeah. I know a lot of white kids who want to be black.
Without pretending like the brevity of that question is like relying on this like greater, like it's a very monotonous sort of like thing to say to someone who's having a kid.
Yeah.
But I do think that gender and the way that we treat gender is at the root of like every issue in the world. And 100 years from now, we're going to look back at the way we treat gender today, the way that we look at how we treated race 100 years ago, where we say, wow, we paid people differently depending on their gender. Wow, people only had access to certain positions and certain fields based on their gender.
Yeah.
It
But
limits
that's already
your
happening now.
potential.
That's really
That's what I mean. It's
I'm
like
gonna
100
send you-
years from now, I think gender will be,
I'm going to, because I like you and because we're friends, I'm going to send you a couple articles and podcasts that I just want your opinion on.
okay.
Because I've just heard other sides of that.
I thought you were going to send him a dress.
Try it out. I think to a degree, you're right. I think we'll do that about a lot of things, but I think to a degree, there's other stuff in it. But anyway, whatever. Anyway, we have now done what my problem was with this statement, which is there's so much stuff going on in the world. I don't know that this being what we're all talking about is the priority.
Okay.
I have a good story on men wearing dresses.
You're a woman.
No.
Oh.
Could have been. But I have 5 brothers, right?
Here we go again. Gosh, we're back in the topic.
Real quick, it's really funny though. But we kept coming out boys, it's boy after boy after boy. I'm number 5 of 6.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom's like, it only happened when I brought you home from the hospital, but I put you in a dress just to see what you'd be like as girls. And then I took the dress off and I never put you in one again. She's like, it only happened when I came home. You guys kept coming out boys. I just had to see what it'd be like to have a girl. That one time.
That might be a problematic conversation, though.
Yeah.
That's good, though. Hey.
That's a good one.
Good. That's
Oh
great.
my gosh. Okay. All right. Holy cow. We're moving on. Jesus. We got sucked in. Thank you, Tim, for sharing that.
Yeah.
That's
no,
good perspective.
yeah.
I feel like you need at least some devil's advocates.
Yeah, that's good.
Sometimes.
That's
The
enough.
3 of you.
We are always open
It's
to
like a
it.
debate, like the last debate moderator had the mute button on the mic.
Yeah.
Beat Tim.
I've got
that's
the mute
enough.
over here.
Oh, that's true. Unfortunately, he's got the mute.
Yes.
Okay. Business.
Yes.
Apple's creating a search engine.
I mean, Apple is smelling blood on the street. Google is facing antitrust issues. Google just reported earnings. I mean, everyone thought the search spending would take a longer time to bounce back.
Mm-hmm.
It exploded this last quarter. So they just released their earnings. Apple released their earnings.
Mm-hmm.
Apple is showing iPhone sales are down. It is, and then the Mac and the other devices they're selling are not making up for the the decline in iPhone sales.
Yeah.
Apple has clearly been trying to figure out the Rundle.
The good old Rundle.
Grand Rundle Club.
The Grand Rundle Club. And we're now looking at what are their options, right? So there's rumors they're going to go into healthcare with the Apple Watch. Search engine, it seems like a very easy segue for them.
Yeah.
So they're exploring that. And I mean, Google has such a monopoly on search that it just, Google pays something like $3 billion to be an option, when you...
No. It's 8 to 12 billion annually to Apple to be the default Google.
It was last quarter, $3 billion they paid,
that was going to be my question is how many Google searches do you think happen of the 100% on Apple devices?
It's incredible. The most valuable ones.
Yeah.
Why? Because
the most ones you can monetize are the ones on iPhone and...
We know the Android guy, he's not buying anything.
No.
Unless you're like the rich tech nerd, which is like...
They all have Apple.
Oh, Pete actually paid attention to what I said.
If you have all that Bitcoin on the Android, you might be... Okay.
That phone is just for the Bitcoin. Their phone they're having fun with is an iPhone.
What they're Googling with is far different from what they're working on the cryptocurrency.
But yeah, I mean, I think Apple's just exploring everything. And we all know if there's not a formidable competition to Google, that it's like Apple sees the data. I can't even imagine the search data they're getting just of people clicking as Google as their default search.
I'll tell you though, I mean, Apple, there's a reason why there hasn't been a competitor to Google in search. They're just so damn good at it.
Yeah.
It's similar to why there hasn't been a formidable competitor to high-end smartphones to iPhone because they're so damn good at it.
This feels to me like Reels.
Yes.
You know?
I don't think Apple's
going
to
get a reel.
Like Sergey and Larry figured some shit out back in the early 2000s that no one else was able to.
It's just time. Like how much time have they had to iterate in this?
And how much it's all machine learning, right?
Yeah.
They like predict what you're going to search. They know what the most likely things you're going to click on. Now that we're talking over like when did Google start in 2000? I know I IPO'd in 2004.
Yeah.
So let's assume like 99, something like that. 21 years of data that is increasing, like the number of Google searches are like
today versus
exponential year over year. So how much data there is to refine the machine.
So what I would say is I'm not saying that they're going to knock Google off at the top, but they can give an option. And even Bing is still $1 billion business probably.
Yeah, this is like what we talk about Apple. There's no innovation.
That's why the stock went down.
Yeah.
Tim, you fucked me.
Tim.
Yeah.
Stock's down 5% in after hours.
Let's double down.
I don't know about that.
2,000.
Are you guys net positive still?
We're hanging on by a thread.
You're up like $1.
$1. Literally $1.
Okay.
Yes.
Market's corrected though the last week. So
Yes, and Datadog fell off a cliff.
Datadog's in the toilet.
Bitch, I am broke.
Google is through the roof.
Oh,
Yes.
Datadog fell off too?
Oh, Datadog.
there's a big sell-off this week. Relax, guys.
But the market had a big day today, a big rally. And the other thing that's interesting, so Facebook announced, obviously, crushed earnings. Crushed
Facebook
everything.
crushed earnings. Google crushed earnings.
Twitter.
Amazon crushed earnings. And Twitter, in an election year where everyone's supposedly on Twitter.
Crushed.
Okay.
Twitter is probably...
Jack Dorsey he's got a shave, man. Like you're doing too many like Congress meetings and stuff like that. Tighten it up.
And you're out in the Hamptons with Jay-Z. Don't tell me you can't get a barber.
God, he looks like a cult leader. And you're the problem is we're talking about you having all of our data and swaying public opinion and you look like a freaking cult leader.
Yeah.
Trim it up.
And it just like when you look at these, Pinterest had a record quarter, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, who is advertising on Pinterest? That is working. Twitter. Oh my God!
Someone on live Twitch just said Datadog's the reason for my divorce.
Oh my God!
And just so we are in the clear here, none of my advice ever should be taken seriously. I'm not a professional stock advisor and/or advisor of any kind.
Yeah, Ricky Peralta has got it nailed. He said Jack Dorsey wants the God look too. I agree.
But yeah, I mean, I think what you're seeing is last quarter for a lot of companies was really, really, really strong. Amazon obviously came out record. Even Shopify had a big quarter, but the stocks, with the exception of Google, the stocks aren't like skyrocketing. Mm-hmm. Shopify went down. Mm-hmm. Apple's going down in the aftermarket. Amazon is like slightly down. Facebook is down. So I think just the market is the valuations are still way ahead of what these companies are actually doing. So it may take a quarter or two till they catch up.
Isn't it also that the Rona numbers are just skyrocketing?
I mean, there should be a lot of anxiety if I'm a major investor in America.
Yeah.
Election will solve a big chunk of the problems.
Yeah.
Right? Because once you know who controls the White House, who controls the Senate, you have a sense of how the country is going to be run.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, I'm sure that has a lot to do with the uncertainty. Rona is everywhere.
Yeah, it's just all these new Rona reports, like in the last week or so, have been like pretty bad.
I mean, the entire world champion Dodgers probably have it.
Guaranteed. I mean, if they don't, no, they do. It's
I mean, the last 24 hours, like Germany shut down, France is shut down.
Yeah.
Lockdowns are happening all across Europe.
Yeah.
Everywhere but Sweden. And no one can explain Sweden.
Are they chilling?
They appear to, like everyone else is skyrocketing.
You know why? They still have that like superior Aryan white blood there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we're talking.
They're just real white.
Oh.
Yeah. Big old arteries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me a big old steak with it too.
Yeah. Too much mixing in the rest of the world.
That's what it is. Okay. All right. Maybe that's what it is. And if this episode doesn't get us canceled, nothing.
Then we can say anything.
Yeah. This is a test. We're going to use this as a test to see exactly where the line
White
is for
Aryan
group chat.
blood out of Sweden.
Okay. Well, I think, I mean, we'll see what happens. But when it comes to uncertainty, all-time high.
Yeah. So I think the stock market's going to reflect that. And then once the election goes through the ringer, we'll see where we end up. I think the market will... I honestly, once we know who the president is, I think the market goes up no matter who it is. Because it's just certainty.
No, we need a winner.
Yeah.
As long as you want to buy a dip, wait for the election to not have a winner for a week.
Yeah,
that'll be a dip.
That'll be scary. That's when, like, grandma calls the advisor and says, "Get me gold."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get me out of Apple.
Yeah.
Get that Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Okay. The biggest IPO in world history is coming.
Mm-hmm.
What is it?
Ant.
So it's the biggest, and it's named after the smallest thing.
That Pixar movie? Is that Pixar? Ants?
Yeah, it's one of those.
Probably.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Oh, an ants.
Damn, I didn't know ants.
Who knew, man? I mean, if you could invest in ants, I guess there is a lot of them.
All I know about seriously.
What's ant?
Ant is part of as a spinoff from Alibaba.
Oh, that makes sense.
And it is their kind of payments division that they're spinning off. And it's supposed to raise some like blockbuster amount of money.
$34 billion at like $300 billion valuation. We're
That's
talking peanuts. We talk about Nicola, 20 billion, 10 billion.
Yeah, that's child's play.
50 billion.
Okay.
Everyone who is, in China and gets to use things like Alipay and things like WeChat for commerce, everyone says they're so ahead of the way payments should be handled globally that they're just leaps and bounds ahead of the rest of the world. So I think, this is why people are excited about this, because it's the first huge company that everyone gets to get access to that already has proof of concept. I mean, obviously anything in China is going to be at scale larger than anyone else.
Here's a good story about Ant. So when Yahoo owned, I think, 20% of Alibaba, that was the only thing valuable that Yahoo owned.
Yeah.
Google was kicking their ass. And Alibaba saw Ant Financial just start taking off. And Yahoo owned Alibaba, which owned Ant Financial. They
spun it out.
They literally said, you don't own it anymore. Spun it out and owned 100% of it and told Yahoo to go kick rocks.
And it worked.
That is a true story, and it worked.
And they couldn't.
China.
There's nothing they
China.
could do. China. Different rules.
Different rules.
Okay.
What's Yahoo going to say? They were like, we'll take your 20% from Alibaba too if you keep talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You better shut up and search.
Yeah. Didn't
Shut
work
up
out
and
too well,
shitty
did it?
search.
Shut up in fantasy football. Because I think the only thing Yahoo's used for.
Who's using Yahoo Fantasy Football?
It's a great platform.
I just want to point out, once again, on Friday, our second half of our episodes are on Twitch, but we just took a pause for a second to say, should we shorten up some of the topics?
Yeah.
Last comment on Twitch, suck it, Ripke.
And I'm pretty sure he's from the UK. He tunes into all our stuff, Jake.
Okay.
All right. That's
All right.
amazing.
So we're
The
gonna keep
Europeans
going.
are with us.
Yeah.
We'll keep going. Okay.
That and the Mormons.
Yeah.
TikTok, which we talk a lot about, parent company ByteDance has launched its first piece of hardware.
Mm-hmm.
So this seems like, I don't know. I mean, it feels to me like Facebook. Look, this is out of my zone, but there seems to be this appetite when you're so big in software to get into a hardware product. I don't know why you would bother, but Facebook did the portal, and there's been these, Snapchat did the glasses. ByteDance has this
Smart lamp.
a smart lamp. So to me, this looks like almost like a Chinese version or invention, remake of the ring light. Like if you're sitting there making your little vlogs or something. They say it's an education-based thing. It looks to me like it would be used by vloggers.
So I think it's a display camera and built-in digital assistant with a great light, obviously, with the lamp being the main feature.
Yep.
It looks really cool. It's $119 it starts at. And I mean, the way you even put your phone into the device is really cool. Like you can stick it into the lamp so that you get the lighting too. I agree with you on the hardware side. A lot of these software or platforms want to get into hardware, but this is kind of a clever fucking thing. I kind of like it. I mean, I don't know if it's going to work, but it's also at a price point. $119 is also more accessible than like when the HomePod comes out or what's Facebook Portal. I think that started at like $299 or $199. You know, it's like if they can get this down to $99, you might just buy it just to see.
I mean, ship it to the D'Amelios.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah,
let her make a couple.
Boom,
savage, classy, bougie ratchets,
and you're good.
It's the hottest product for spring.
I think that's what it's going to end up being. Is just like a creator light versus this desk lamp for like school-going children. Yeah. Because I think lighting on phones who are zooming or creating content is a serious problem. Yeah. That's a multi-billion-dollar problem.
So the only mistake I see is why not name it, why isn't it TikTok branded?
Maybe it will be eventually.
Yeah. So let's not only just take over our phones, let's let China take over our homes too?
Yes.
Yeah, they're coming regardless.
Go ahead, have it.
Yeah, they're here regardless.
Yeah.
What's a lamp going to hurt?
Yeah.
You know?
One more camera in your house.
Is there a camera?
We're just going to start getting propaganda from like the Chinese national anthem. We're going to get out of the shower and you're like, wait, what is that?
Did I hear that? What was that?
Yeah.
Is that the lamp?
Houston Rockets? I love the Rockets.
Was that G playing on my lamp?
Yao Ming, is he the greatest player ever?
Oh my God.
Next thing you're watching ESPN
We're
is
so
Yao Ming.
stupid. This is so stupid.
Yeah.
How are American
this is in
regulators
China.
just... I know, but it's going to come here.
Yeah.
If they TikTok brand it and send it to the D'Amelios.
They got to ban it.
Okay. SpaceX. So Elon is also, he has some weird, like, affordable Wi-Fi Starlink.
Yeah, it's really interesting. So part of the way they want to fund a lot of SpaceX kind of future growth is offer this satellite internet service for $99.
Got it.
I just thought that was interesting.
That is really interesting. And it said that it comes with like a cool little setup. What did I see in the, like it comes with a little, oh, no. This is what got me. They sent out an email to people that, this is very Elon.
Yeah.
People that had signed up and they called it the Better Than Nothing beta test.
Yeah.
So, you know, they're keeping it real. Mm-hmm. It's in a beta test version and it's the Better Than Nothing beta test. So, hey, look, if I can have Wi-Fi, it's just as good as what I got now, except for it comes from Elon. It helps fund the vision. Sign me up.
I actually think that's why it's going to work.
Yeah.
Because I think there's enough people that buy into the Elon Musk brand.
I'm one of them.
I'd be like, yeah, I got SpaceX internet.
Yeah.
That's hot.
Sign me up.
I'd like SpaceX internet.
Okay.
I mean, we're getting ripped off by Spectrum. My bill just goes up for no reason. I get shitter internet.
Yeah.
Every time I get worse internet, I feel like the bill goes up.
They got you on the bundle.
It's like Pete.
Because you have the TV
Does
and
less
your
work,
internet.
ask for more money.
Yeah.
You know?
Just to get fucking Red Zone on my TV, I had to get a new cable box, which costs more money. Charge me extra. It's just ridiculous. Okay. I'm all in. Starlink, sign me up.
Sign him up.
If you could get me Red Zone and a few sports packages, Starlink.
I have a feeling Elon can handle that.
And if you want to put a chip in me and do it all for free, deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, what if your arm just emitted Wi-Fi?
Sick.
You know? Just had your own little network.
Yeah.
Little hotspot embedded in your arm.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do it.
Okay, what's up with Netflix? Stock is got a little bump.
Yeah.
And also looks like We Need to Talk, because they're releasing what looks to be their version of a kind of a podcast platform.
Yeah, a couple things. So we talked about how on Monday their earnings were not that impressive, that the growth had kind of slowed down, and things had to. What were they going to do to grow? Mm-hmm. And I said that the only thing they can do in America is raise prices. Mm-hmm. And they raised prices. So that's the first thing they did. Their basic package still comes in at $7.99. And they have a $14.99 and a $17.99 with higher, if you want 4K and 480p and all those little, functions, features, whatever. Yeah. I'd probably sign up for the nicest version, because why not?
Yep.
But this is how they're going to make more money. Easily just jack up. They have such lock-in value. Like, we can't go anywhere.
Yep.
I'm addicted to Netflix.
Yeah, and if you give me a better version somehow, even if it's the same thing,
yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, sign me up.
Yeah, so
go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was saying it's just like Amazon Prime. They're just going to slowly increase 10% year over year. Because I think now the premium plan used to be $13, now it's $14.
Yeah.
Who's going to cancel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When soon Amazon Prime do like $14,000.
Yeah. Well, I'll ride it all the way to the top. It's like the boil the frog thing, right? If you slowly do it, before you know it, you're paying $14,000 for your Netflix.
And they're getting.
What is the price where it actually breaks?
What's it now?
The premium plan is $14 a month.
You're talking about what?
Netflix.
Oh yeah. No, now it's $17.99.
Oh, it's $17. Sorry.
The 480p is $17.99.
Yeah. Okay. So that used to be $10.
Yeah, I don't know. When do you start to really
$30? I'm taking a look.
$30?
I'll take a look at my streaming. I wouldn't cancel Netflix, but I'd cancel Stars. Would have to go.
I don't think so. $30? You're not canceling Stars for Power. Come on.
If the kid has a show, I hate the kid.
It's coming back. I know, but I'm just saying you would not for $30. But I think at $30 you start to lose probably a significant amount of people. Right?
Or you have to make hard choices in your life.
Or you start asking everybody else who's using it to chip in $5.
I think Netflix should be $100.
If it was
I just think for what I don't
know.
So
you would cancel everything else just for Netflix? Because I'm assuming you probably don't have cable. If you don't watch sports, there's no reason to have cable.
Yeah, I don't have cable.
Yeah.
Or news.
I wouldn't, but I'm just saying, if you really take look at the price of
how much time you spend. Would you say you spend what? 20 hours a month on Netflix?
The problem is me personally, I'm either movies or YouTube.
Alex Jones.
I'm either Alex Jones, Ben Shapiro.
Yeah.
I'm either,
But how many Netflix hours are you logging in? 20 hours a month? That seem like
probably.
Reasonable?
This seems reasonable.
So $5 an hour for great content. Pfft, you do it all day.
20 hours a month? So you're logging in. You're probably doing more.
I'm saying, think about
You're doing an average an hour a day.
Well, I'm just not personally a big Netflix. I'm watching Comey Rule on Showtime, and then or whatever that's on, and then a bunch of YouTube clips and podcasts and stuff like that in the background. Full movie on Apple TV.
So you're not paying attention to anything.
You're watching all that at once. What the fuck?
No, not at the same time, you idiots. I'm saying
Apple TV going to your podcast and Alex Jones on the side.
Ain't doing push-ups.
No,
this guy can't remember
I'm on a Peloton with one headphone in. No, I'm saying that's what if you look at my week, it looks like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Jeez. And by the way, they're doing an audio-only feature.
Audio-only feature. So one of the ideas that they're saying is they're going to do audio versions of their shows. That's where they're going to start. So I don't know if that means literally just the audio, because that.
Yeah. So I actually think this is what it is. It's for people who consume on their phones, and if you watch a show on your phone, there's some shows, obviously. The highly produced stuff, you need to be watching every minute. But there's some shows you kind of casually watch. So you're watching a scene and then you see a text message fly in. Boom, swipe out. Audio's still going. You're not missing anything important. Boom, come back into Netflix.
Yeah.
That's similar to the way Clubhouse works. It's always running.
Yeah.
And if you jump back in, you can interact or whatever.
Documentaries. I never watch documentaries because my TV is I'm at most I'll get an hour a day. And if I get that hour, I want to be highly entertained. And documentary doesn't do it for me.
I think this is their attempt to really penetrate mobile, because that was Quibi's whole thesis in the beginning, that sub 10% of Netflix is consumed on mobile.
Yeah.
So they were there's this huge white space of people consuming produced content on mobile with the flaw is that you want to be able to, you're taking up valuable real estate.
Yep.
So if you just have the audio, you could swipe in and out and go to your email, go to your text.
Got it.
Boom.
I also think there has to be something to
That's
the fact
all
that
my speculation. I work at Netflix.
Totally.
I just heard the headline that this is what they're doing.
I feel like there has to be something to the fact that like a lot of what keeps happening is these like mystery podcasts and stuff like that get turned into shows.
Mm-hmm.
So what if you just owned both? You know, what if like the new Making a Murderer podcast was on Netflix audio and then there was a series? You could, level that up to series or I don't know. But whatever. Audio is without a doubt a new frontier that is not nearly fully tapped.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. What about It Ain't Ralph though?
It ain't Ralph.
Why is Ralph Lauren in the news?
Because no one wears it?
Oh. So we're having trouble.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
Catching bricks.
and that's Corona affiliated?
I mean, they were struggling pre-Corona. They probably still have a major wholesale and retail business. Obviously, like you walk in any department store, Ralph Lauren is still one of it's the biggest brand.
But is that like impacted like by the fact that no one's going to a store?
Yeah. I think that's where it is Corona related, that they are, if you look at a Macy's, a Kohl's, a Ross, a TJ Maxx, Ralph Lauren is such a big part of their business. So global sales fell 30% for Ralph Lauren this last quarter. So it's a huge, huge dip.
Yeah, that's rough.
I mean, Ralph Lauren seems like such an easy brand to fix.
Yeah.
It has so much heritage.
Yeah, it does.
Get the right creative director in there.
Yeah.
And it's off to the races. Everyone's wearing Ralph Lauren.
Yep.
It's not a brand that's ever had a bad connotation.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, I have to make Von Dutch hot again.
Yep.
That seems impossible.
Yeah, I totally agree.
But Ralph Lauren could be hot tomorrow.
I just think it's one of those like, steering the cruise ship thing. Like it's so big and there's so much history in the old direction.
But why do the luxury houses do it so fast?
I know.
And they're bigger than these guys.
I don't know. But I would think that the
How can
distribution,
Dior change on a dime?
But isn't like the distribution of those they control most of it, right? Like where Ralph Lauren has to be in so many there has to be so much infrastructure built around this old system of distribution and how they create.
That's fine, but just start with the story.
Yeah.
Start with the creative. Fix
I agree. I think it'd be one of the easiest things in the world.
It's probably like one of the many things that they've done wrong. So my guess is their e-commerce product is terrible.
Yeah.
They only existed in scale because they had a monopoly on distribution. You walk into Macy's in the men's section, you feel like you're in a Ralph Lauren store.
Yeah.
It doesn't even feel like you're in a Macy's. Half the fucking store is Ralph Lauren, like signage.
Underwear, cologne.
And they just were resting on their laurels this whole time because that was so easy and didn't actually try to control their own story and distribution, which is what Nike's done because Nike's digital is on freaking fire.
And they canceling everyone's account.
Yeah.
Literally everyone. They're just getting rid of that entire big part of their business.
Yeah, they obviously just aren't thinking
like that's
forward.
A brand that probably shouldn't be collapsing like this.
No.
Given its
Definitely
importance.
Definitely not.
And it's clean stuff. It's wearable by anyone.
You could the same thing what Gap did with Kanye. Ralph Lauren. The only reason Ralph Lauren had such a resurgence 15
the
years ago
pastel color polos
was Kanye's.
Kanye,
Go get Kanye.
And Palace, right? Didn't Palace do a collab with them or something?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, remember when Kanye used to wear polos? It's like you could have easily done a Kanye deal or a version or get Virgil or whomever, and you'd be instantly.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, well, we'll see what happens, but it just seems like a sitting opportunity.
Yeah.
All right, last but not least, news story before we get into winners, losers, and content. Good news for our boy Tim. Online beer sales through the roof.
I like beer.
I like beer. You like beer? Who doesn't like beer?
I love beer.
By the way, Tim, that beer you brought in last time was very tasty.
Yeah.
That IPA. I don't remember. What was that called?
Is the Melrose IPA.
Melrose IPA.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
I like that. So what's going on? I mean, everyone's stuck at home. They're just ordering their beer?
So it's the laws of these types of things are mind-boggling to me.
Okay.
You are allowed to sell beer and wine online.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And ship it to anybody.
Yeah.
You cannot do that with hard liquor.
Only the on-demand stuff, like Drizzly and
Postmates or whatever, yeah.
And
Saucy,
and that's
whatever.
just the law.
That's just the law.
It's a stupid law.
So fucking stupid. So what's happened is obviously consumption of alcohol at home has gone through the roof. So people they're just buying all these different beer products. And you know, I've seen like what's the one, June Shine? Is that one? That's like a popular
Down in San Diego, they do a really great delivery service.
A delivery service online. So it's like all these interesting concepts have come about, but they're all in the beer and wine space because you're allowed to just have, like, why can't you buy, like, imagine Amazon is not in the liquor business. That's insane to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird. That's just one of those stupid laws that's just there because it's there. Okay, got it. Well, hey, this is what an opportunity looks like.
Yeah.
All you young entrepreneurs.
They got to change the laws on a lot of things, like even dining outside in LA. It's like hard to get pre-corona. It was impossible to get permits for people to have. Now, I who doesn't want to eat outside?
Yeah.
Outside is great.
It's way better.
I hate eating inside.
There you go. Pete.
Freaking Pete.
Yeah, well, you only got to eat outside in the last 9 months. When you're in fucking Bumblefuck, you didn't
That's
get
a
to do
different
that.
story.
You want to eat outside.
Then
then,
I
were you?
love inside eating over there.
Yeah, it's funny because now everyone's forced to eat in like the parking lots of these restaurants.
Yeah.
Because nobody was able to build a porch.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden in 2 months, you can pop one up.
Yeah, there's just balconies everywhere. Okay, you guys ready to wrap it up with our winners, losers content?
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, 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 dun. Okay, D, who's the biggest winner of the last week?
I talked about it a little bit earlier on the pod. My winner is Pinterest. This is a company that, like, you know, I considered Sleepy Joe.
Yep.
That I was just not paying attention to anymore. And I understand that a lot of people still use Pinterest, you know, to whether it's planning a wedding or get inspiration for design or, you know, just have their mood boards of like what they're doing in life. So I totally understand the use case of Pinterest and why it was so popular still. It was similar to a Twitter where I've never really heard people having success in advertising. Like no one has told me like I figured out Twitter advertising. Whereas like people have come to me about Snapchat advertising. People have talked to me obviously about Facebook and TikTok and whatever. Pinterest is like, you know, like a Snapchat. It just kind of rose from the ashes, and I'm sure COVID had a lot to do with it. People are working on their homes.
Just pinning their asses
They're
off.
just pinning all day.
Yeah.
And they beat their revenue expectations by 50%. You know, I kind of I put Pinterest in like a weird like part of my brain where I wasn't paying attention to it.
Yep.
It is now worth $37 billion. Pinterest.
How's that for a weird part of your brain?
I like it. Similar to Snap, just quietly, we're working, put their heads down,
Yeah.
creating value.
Okay.
That's my winner.
Anand,
Meme World.
what's that? Is that like a
Just-
SeaWorld, but a new version?
No, but just the concept of memes. So
I would love to go to a place called Meme World.
I would go to Meme
Where
World.
your real life, all those characters that we see in memes
They're
are
just
there.
happening, yeah.
Like the
That's
guy
actually-
on the phone.
Yeah.
that's the
He's
best.
just
That's
on the
the
phone.
next iteration of the Museum of Ice Cream.
Yeah.
Is
Oh,
Meme
that'd be
World.
so good, Meme World. It should be done by Fuck Jerry or
Yeah,
whatever.
little Terrio's here.
Yeah, hey, look at him. He's still dancing.
Ooh.
So Kim Kardashian was getting roasted for going to her private island
Yes.
in the French Polynesian Islands, and after whatever her quote was, and then everyone was just taking
Their version.
their version of like after taking quarantine really seriously for 14 days, and
Yeah.
they'd post like something funny. I just love the internet.
Yeah,
Whenever
yeah,
you
yeah.
slip up, if you're super famous
Yeah.
and important, they're
They
just gonna
gotcha.
crush you. And Kim Kardashian got crushed.
Yeah.
Yeah, what an oversight, man. Because she's like
She's pretty good. She's pretty buttoned up.
pretty good. And she's going into all this shit now, you know, criminal justice reform and like all this real shit. Like,
This has got to be because the show got canceled.
what do you mean?
Yeah, the
Like,
star
just need
power's
attention?
gone. You got to get the attention somewhere else.
No, I think she just made a flub here.
I think it's just a flub,
Yeah, she
man.
just-
It was
I think-
full on stupidity. She
No,
put story
yeah.
after story, picture after
And
picture.
everyone
The
was
other girls
posting.
posted.
Yeah.
Everybody
the play looked
posted.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
What were they on? Like a 747?
I don't even know what it was. There was like poker tables. Like it was crazy.
You're telling me after all the time they've been around, all the criticism they face, after every little thing they do, they wouldn't know this was going to happen?
So you think they wanted to stoke people?
Yeah, absolutely.
I saw Devin Booker playing cards on that fancy plane.
Oh. Well, hey,
But you don't see
D-Book.
Devin Booker talking about it.
You're like,
I went to his
posted?
Instagram. He didn't post.
No, because he knows how to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Kim Payward.
He if I had to sign away or really, no, whatever. I think that it would be really stupid to do that when you're trying to get into criminal justice reform and all this real stuff. Like, I think if you're doing that for press, then
doesn't care. She has enough power. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, whatever. All you gotta do is post a photo of your
I
butt.
have no problem if you want to go do that, but when you're that famous and you're, like you said, you're trying to be viewed as someone that's delving into important shit, you don't do that.
Like, if she just wants to keep going with the fuckery, then all good. But like, if you're trying to be looked at, I mean, you're going to get your legal degree.
Right. But I think I don't want to exactly say this, but in the same breath of Joe Rogan, kind of like Joe Rogan say, hey, like, I don't care everybody, you know, whether it's the Spotify people or other people bitch about who he has on who he wants to have on. She does what she does and nobody really says it.
Yeah, but that's different.
I know it's different, but I think it's still in somewhat of the same context.
It's tone deaf, you know?
Right.
But whatever. Okay.
Imagine if you thought you were one of her good friends and you weren't in that invite.
Yeah.
That must be heartbreaking.
That'd be rough, because that would be the trip of your lifetime. Okay. My winner, sorry to be repetitive, my winner is just LA. You know, things are kind of crazy here right now, but back to back, I mean, that's obviously first in history, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Back to back champs. You still see a glimmer of it out in the streets. I saw some Dodgers flags on the way over.
Back to back in terms of time, because the last Dodgers World Series, 88, Lakers won that year too.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn. Okay, well, yeah, back to back. I meant Lakers, then
like
Dodgers.
in that time period, like a couple weeks.
Yeah. Okay, that's my winner.
That's great.
Go LA. Shit might get a little crazy here in the next few days, but right now, let's celebrate.
Yep.
Very far away from each other, and not talk too loud,
and not post about it.
I
was just on a big jet. I just didn't post. That's what you should say.
Yeah.
You should just post. That should be the new meme.
Yes.
Like, I was also on a jet.
It should just be me in a yard, and like, I just got off a jet, and I was gone for the last 10 days. D, who's your loser?
My loser are AOC haters.
Interesting.
I saw a post by a woman making kind of negative remarks on AOC because she's on the cover of Vanity Fair this month.
Okay.
And she's wearing like a $14,000 outfit. She's like, you can't be pushing socialism and wearing a $14,000 outfit.
I'm interested on your take, because I would probably hate on that too.
So she is doing a cover for a magazine.
Okay.
She's getting styled. You don't get to keep the clothes. It's not your clothes. I mean, you know, we all know that like when you go do photo shoots, you don't get, if you're the model at Louis Vuitton, you don't get to keep the Louis Vuitton.
Yep.
They write you a check and that's your job.
Yep.
Right? Maybe if you're model for Young and Reckless, they'll give you a box of clothes on your way out.
Yeah, we usually just let you keep what you wore.
Yeah.
You know, those sweats are yours now.
Yeah, those sweats are yours.
Yeah.
You know, that fanny pack is all you.
Yeah, it was kind of sweaty out there today.
But, you know, what's interesting is like I saw so much hate because she wore that.
Yep.
And I understand, like, oh, does she have to like look poorly to be pushing socialism? She doesn't own that product.
Mm-hmm.
They just styled her and she looked like that. And I was, you know, I always wonder, like, to get a gut pulse on, like, is she still relevant? She did a Twitch stream recently with this guy, Hassan Piker. It did 483,000 people.
Yeah, that's insane.
I think it's second biggest ever. I think Ninja, Drake was number one.
Yeah.
The second is AOC and Ilhan Omar and this Hassan Piker.
Yeah.
So you just show that like there's just an audience for her, and she's only 31 years old. Like, you know, as she's gonna have to refine her message to reach a broader audience, which I think she will, because I think she's in the game.
Yeah.
Like the power is too good. So if you go too left, you're gonna, you know, if she plays it smart in this administration, gets like important roles, I think she'll understand you have to come to the middle to appeal to the rest of the country. Yeah. But you know, people that even I've talked down on her a lot in the past too, that she was a little too radical for me.
Yeah.
But you know, she clearly resonates with a shitload of people. It's crazy.
Yeah.
483,000 on a Twitch stream is just bananas.
I agree. I would criticize that though. It's just like, if your whole thing is looking out for the everyday person, you don't. It's like
wear the H&M version.
Yeah, that's
you
what
can
Michelle
look
Obama
amazing
did.
for $14.
She also wore designer.
She did, but like the famous, like some of the, like it was like a Banana Republic dress or something that was super affordable.
No, but she played it well. She did high, she did low.
Yeah, I just think that you can. I mean, and Michelle Obama wasn't as like AOC's whole thing is for the working person.
Yeah.
I just think like you can look really, really nice for not a lot of money these
Really,
days.
really nice? No, you can look nice.
You can look nice.
And if you're a man, you can look really nice
that
over
should
the
be
Menlo
her-
Club.
That should be her whole thing though, right? I mean, shouldn't she be like, look at me, I'm on the cover of Vanity Fair in a...
Melrose.
I don't know if Vanity Fair would want that.
Then she should say no to Vanity Fair. And then she should do what Greenwald did and said, I turned down Vanity Fair because they forced me to wear a $14,000 dress.
Yeah, then it would work.
I'm for you. Bigger than the whole story.
Yeah.
She should come France and Melrose Place. Great product.
Accessible price point.
Accessible price point
Comfortable.
for the people.
Yes.
Gifter.
Gifter.
Anand, who's the loser?
The loser is, we got sent an article that the West Hollywood, either council or something, wants to revoke the license of the most popular weed shop I've seen, Cookies, on Melrose.
Why?
The real reason or what they claim?
I'd like
What do they claim?
what they claim first. And
So
then
they
the real
claim
reason.
they're parking illegally. Their smell of cannabis. Yeah, it's a fucking weed store.
Yeah.
Every weed store has cannabis smell.
Jesus.
It's crowded. But what's the real story? They don't like the color of the people that are lining up.
You
at
don't like
Cookies.
all the black Mexican kids lined up down Melrose across from Melrose Place.
Because it's down at the nice part.
No one's complaining about Glossier having 100 girls in line
Smelling like
across
makeup.
the street.
Yeah. Okay, I agree. I think probably Cookies got the real estate that's right at the end of the streetwear part of Melrose and into the really nice part, and they don't like that.
Yeah.
No,
Too
yeah,
close.
they don't. They
Back
definitely.
it up. Go on the other side of Fairfax.
Exactly.
Yeah, it smells of really like terribleness.
Not like Cookies.
No.
It's false advertising.
Yeah.
We thought you were selling chocolate chips.
And what I mean smells of terribleness is the policy that they're trying to institute.
Yeah.
Trying
Yeah.
to kick them out.
Yeah, and the thing is because like I drive by Cookies every day. Before they got the security, it was out of control because kids were just pulling up and just parking leaving their car on Melrose.
But there's a lot of security there.
So now there's security and now they have traffic cops and now they're directing. I just think go to Cookies and say, let's figure out a way. You need that foot traffic in that area. That area is dead.
I agree, man. And all of Melrose looks crazy right now. It's just not that one half mile strip that they're right up against.
Yeah.
Okay. My loser, for the same reason that Anna explained earlier, is the United States of America.
Ooh.
And that is because leading up to an election, we're boarding up doors and prepping for violence. And it's also, to me, it's one thing. It's almost like one level if an election happens and then there is some violence, but you're prepping for it.
Yeah.
Like it looks crazy. I've never seen anything like it. So I just think, look, however we got here, whoever you want to blame, whatever it is, regardless, we're here. And I think we're losers for it.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, what should everyone do? Content. What should everyone check out?
So I got a couple things. One is I think I touched on it earlier in the week. I maybe forgotten. My next guest, David Letterman.
Yep.
He had Chappelle.
Oh. Does he have a new season that's on?
Yeah. Un-fucking believable.
Really?
Yeah. Like it's what you want Kanye to be.
Yeah.
Just so well thought. He talks about his town in Ohio and the community and just like it was amazing. It was
No,
literally amazing.
I think actually to say it differently, it's probably what Kanye thinks he is, not what we want him to be. We don't want Kanye to be anything. Just make him music.
No, that's different. I think Kanye has so much influence. I wish he thought through things like Dave Chappelle thought through it. You do want Kanye. Kanye has too much influence, so we need him to step up. He can't just play music anymore. He's beyond that.
I think his influence is now straddling the point of everyone's trying to see the craziness, not
No,
we really
that's
even
you.
care what.
No,
I
that's
also
you.
think,
I
just for the sake
disagree.
of argument, I think there's a part of his influence that's waning. I think I saw a lot of the reaction on like the smaller podcasts and stuff wasn't great to that Rogan episode.
Okay.
Yeah, I think people are like, this sounds stupid.
Yeah, I
But
just think
but
there's
I see both sides. I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
Both.
and I think what Chappelle kind of was able to articulate was amazing. I watched another episode, which was with Kim Kardashian. Unbelievable too.
Really?
Yes. Really, really interesting. They talk about OJ.
Island.
They didn't talk about the island, but they did talk about that experience, the OJ experience, just living through that.
Yep.
And then they talked about how she is actively trying to become a lawyer. and studying and spending time with an attorney. She's really interesting because she is very comfortable to speak about things she knows about.
Yeah.
And she's very comfortable to say, there was a question that Dave Letterman asked that tried to act really smart, but he said nothing.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
Like she wasn't like trying to play and answer that question. She just like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
And I just like, I don't know, just hearing Kim Kardashian is the best of that family that represents, right? Like, I think she has a lot of characteristics and qualities that are very like, they are admiring given where she started and where she is today. And I think
she's your fave.
She's my fave.
Yeah.
Of all of the Kardashian Jenners.
You're a KKW beauty gal.
I'm Skims. I'm all in on Skims.
Got it. Okay. I thought you were Kylie all day.
I switched. Wow. Yeah. After that interview, I really like him now.
The island didn't turn you off?
I would have loved to be on the island.
Okay.
And the other one is I got started on last night, Queen's Gambit. It's about a young woman who's in an orphanage and learns how to play chess. And it just like becomes like the world. I don't know. I've only seen one episode, but it's hinting like she's going to become a big chess player.
What's that on?
Netflix.
Okay. So you're way more than 20 hours a week. 20 hours a month.
I probably mainly watch Netflix. I don't really watch, like I'll watch Comey Rule or whatever, but like if I'm looking for something to watch, I end up on Netflix.
Got it. Okay. Anand, what are your recommendations?
So I would not recommend this 51 of the 52 weeks of the year, but this weekend I am.
Okay.
Watch some news.
Nice. Approach with caution.
But I do think Election Day is, regardless of side you are, regardless of what politics you have, the presidential election is historic every 4 years.
Yep.
And I know boarding up and all that stuff sounds scary, but it is ceremonial in the sense that you have two different parties with two different visions, and they're articulated pretty clearly of where they want the country to be.
Yeah.
And 4 days before election, tune in. The campaign rallies are fiery. The candidates are fired up. Their supporters are fired up, and you just kind of see what do you want?
Yeah.
It happens every 4 years. And this is no different than any 4 years, just we're more divided now. But 4 years ago, there were two different visions. 4 years before that, there were two different visions. And I think it comes out very clearly a couple days before the election.
Yeah. And hey, maybe a couple days after the election, there'll be a lot to see on the news too.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and say my content is the Alex Jones, Joe Rogan episode.
Wow.
Everyone watch it.
Okay, fine. I'll watch it.
We talked about it. We went back and forth
Are
about
you
it.
an anti-vaxxer?
Well, let me just say, I have seen a lot of lizard people,
Is that what he's pushing?
Well, I think he does
your
believe
flu
in
shot
some
drama.
wild stuff. I think he said something about frogs being gay or something. I don't know. I do need my flu shot.
Can frogs pick their gender?
I don't know. We're not sure, but I don't want to get into it.
Okay.
Tim just rolled his eyes at us.
Yeah, I mean, I think, look, in the discussion of being able to have these conversations with crazy people, check it out.
Yeah.
Then you guys tell me if anyone should be canceled.
Okay.
We got to stop canceling people. That's it. Do we got shout outs?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got a couple. First one. This one's really interesting. It's from our girl, Pooja Shah.
Pooja.
She's coming back. She wanted to give a shout out to Drama, Pete, and Tim.
What?
The Whites.
Oh, the Whites.
What?
She didn't say Whites, but I said it.
We don't need, listen, the last thing we need is more shout outs.
She wrote a nice little note. Dee and Anand will always be my number one favorites because of that Hindu connection, but really love you all. Well, Pete kind of sucks a little.
Oh, this is because this is the young
The
lady.
November birthday, right?
But she only
no.
said, shout out to Dee and Anand, they're my favorite.
Yes.
Yeah, and I was like, what's up, Pooja?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I sent a shout out in for my friend Himali Patel, also a longtime listener, in April for her 30th birthday.
Jesus.
And he said he'd shout her out and didn't.
Wow.
But we forgive him.
He's too famous.
Happy half birthday, Molly.
Oh my God.
Hope 31. Happy 31 in advance.
Yeah. Just in case we missed that one.
Yeah, so I thought that was a really funny.
Well, thanks, Pooja, but I don't want your pity. Okay. I know where your loyalty lies.
And then the other one is from Jonathan Araya. He is turning 36, and his birthday is on November 1st. So happy birthday. Hot birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. And then last one that I have is Mateen, who I met a young man starting a shoe brand. Maybe met him a year ago. Convinced him that he should go to Italy for a shoe show, and I think he went.
Okay.
Now
he's locked down.
And now he's stuck in Italy.
I think he went right before Corona too, like same time Sneaker Steve went. And his brand is launching on Sunday, 12 p.m.
Nice.
Social Studies brand is on IG. The shoes look great. And we'll see how his brand does.
Okay.
Pete, anything you forgot?
I have.
Can we get a shout out from February?
Yeah.
Let's go. Happy birthday to Mike Rock, R-A-W-K, not confused with R-O-C-K. He's a DJ, graphic designer, and overall dope human being. From his girlfriend requesting a shout out during quarantine, he started a Twitch stream called The Kids Block Party.
Nice.
Saturday morning for kids to dance to.
Oh, wow.
And
That's
Essential
cool.
Saturdays, where people would donate money and he would give all the proceeds to a local mom and pop restaurant who then cooked food for essential workers. He deserves a shout out, and we
Wow.
believe it too.
Sounds
Guy's
like
a
Dom.
saint.
Sounds like
Happy
something for Dom
birthday
to do
on
this
September 29th.
I have one more
September
shout out.
29th was the birthday. You just
Oh my.
it's a month. Poor guy's slaving away.
Oh my.
Slaving away.
gosh.
Yes, she just followed up today and said, hey, don't know if this got lost, but can we run it again? So happily we saw it this time, and happy late birthday.
And in the interest of saving Ricky's marriage for his Datadog losses,
Yep.
we're shouting out his wife, Cassidy,
Yes.
for passing her final state test exam. and
For what?
Graduating.
Ricky, for what? What did she pass her exam for?
Her final state test
Was it
exam.
like-
Was it for Corona?
Yeah.
Can't just say those have open-ended questions now.
She did 2 weeks quarantine. They're giving her a certificate.
Oh man.
Graded by Kim
I just gotta
Kardashian.
say the Twitch chat was on fire today.
A lot of. You know
lot of
what's interesting? I saw a Christian post nursing.
Nursing.
There you go.
Great.
Christian posted on Amazon quarterly call that just happened today. They said they saved $1 billion on corporate travel. $1 billion. That
That's
shit ain't
insane.
never coming back.
No.
When Jeff saw that,
Frugality.
yeah, frugality.
That's one of their main principles.
Yes.
You're telling me you're working on a freaking door from Home Depot, but you're spending $1 billion on travel? Sheesh. Okay.
Travel is fucked.
Travel's done.
Yeah. We have also one last and final shout out. This one on time. Shout out to Salvador Vasquez from San Fernando,
I
California.
believe it's Vasquez.
Yeah.
San Fernando, California is right where we grew up.
Yeah.
Right down the street from Granada Hills.
He would like to shout out his wife, Monica, whose birthday is none other than the spooky Halloween, October 31st. Even though Halloween is canceled, we're going to make the best out of it. We're also waiting to take a honeymoon since everything is shut down. And our wedding was April 4th, 2020. So fingers crossed it happens soon. Shout out to the coworkers over here at Primitive Skate e-commerce warehouse. Much love, group chat crew.
Nice.
Primitive.
Isn't that?
P-Rod.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's our homies. Who was it? What was his name?
Salvador.
Oh, Salvador. What's up, dude? I don't know Salvador, but shout out to Primitive.
Shout out. Shout out to shout out.
Okay, is that it?
Yeah, probably. Should be.
Shout out to the Twitch chat.
Shout out Twitch chat and
Shout out to the
also
Twitch chat. You guys are on point today.
Today's fun. A lot of activity.
Yeah.
I feel like we're gonna be big Twitch stars.
yes.
Yeah.
I mean, we're really consistent. We're twice a week.
Yeah,
If you guys
Behind closed door
if you
and
guys
this.
want to come on Twitch,
Yeah.
this is where we just drop all the racial slurs, all the things that offend people.
Yes.
It's
Only on Twitch.
Oh, that's
Yes.
good. That's good.
And
A place for freedom.
A place where you can be free to say literally whatever you want.
Sure.
Yeah.
And next week, we're going to have a full debate on gender.
Yes.
like about behind closed doors yesterday, he released. We talked about some exclusive merch that Dee worked on with a big gamer. So speaking
Yeah.
of Twitch,
Yeah.
Nice.
yeah, we also have to talk about Tim's lovemaking.
What?
That's live on Twitch.
Oh my
That will be
God.
live
No,
on
no,
Twitch.
no, no,
Actually,
right.
the lovemaking itself will
Yes.
be live. And you guys can comment on it as it happens.
That's what we should do. We can put them both on StreamYard. It's like a
Tim
Zoom
just
call.
rocking a dress, doing some love making.
Okay, we've been here too long. All right, time to wrap it up. Guys, make sure you sign up for the Grand Running Club Half Marathon.
Rundle.
Get yourself a Rundle.
Yeah.
Check out Modern Prescription.
Yeah.
Is what's going on there? Those guys are just...
Yeah, what was Tuesday's episode about?
He interviewed Levi Powell, and they did some mission trips together, Jeff and Levi, and they kind of reminisced and touched on some pretty incredible stories from trips they had taken.
Oh, they went to India, right?
Yeah, they went to India.
Yeah,
They did,
under figs. I remember that.
Yeah.
There you
That's
go.
cool.
Okay, so check out Modern Prescription everywhere where group chat is.
Yes.
You should follow them on social. They're both fun to follow. Deepak is very rich, drinks very well, and very
And
fun.
I think that's the close friends and stuff that we got.
Well, I'll
That's
share
how
everything. I'll
should
share
start
all his close
reposting.
friends.
You should just copy and paste.
Yeah, I'm gonna copy and paste Deepak's what type of wine he's drinking because the guy makes money.
Right.
Kids, if you want to get back and figure out how to make money, do
better
whatever.
Go over to Modern Prescription and start listening.
Yes.
Because you can be very rich. And listen to Deepak, not so much. Jeff.
Yes.
Deepak's really rich. Jeff seems like, he's fine. Deepak, really rich.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
the average Joe's perspective.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm sure Jeff is doing great.
That's it. How fucking long is this episode?
We're almost at 2 hours, so we'll just wrap it at the 2 hours. We're almost at 2
Oh my
hours.
God.
It's starting to get
Ricky
so
is
hot in here. I
losing
think
his
mainly
mind.
because
I'm
the
wearing
equipment.
a fucking sweatshirt.
Yeah, I'm sweating over here. I think it's mainly because the equipment's about to start on fire.
Okay.
We're
But
out.
remember, Tim's matchmaker. If you have somebody that's perfect, or you are yourself perfect for a date with Tim,
Yeah, what's that?
GC matchmaker@gmail.com. Send over who you are and why you think you'd be a great fit. We're gonna get a dinner for you and Tim over
And we
Zoom.
learned a lot about Tim today.
Yes.
So, that tells you what his interests are, and you might
he's
be
a
able to find a
boy.
perfect
we've
match.
already had a couple people.
Well,
He said he's a boy. I asked him.
oh, yeah, he
yes.
did. Yeah.
So if you're looking for a boy,
Yeah.
we've got one for you. And we've already had a couple inquiries. So the list is starting to stack up.
Wow.
If you don't get to it, you might not get picked. November 1st.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
All right, we're freaking out of here, man. We got shit to do. Bye,
I thought
guys.
it was 2:45. I didn't know it was 3:45.
The day's over.
Oh, it's almost 4 o'clock.
Let's
See
wrap
ya.
this up.
Bye. We're out of here.
Bye.